What's going down, guys? Nicky Rizzles here. Wanted to tell you a bit about this podcast episode. This is a little collaboration between Rizzology and the Suppworks podcast with the guys down from Nutrimedia in Houston, Texas. Greg Helton, the Suppwolf himself, asked me if we could use the studio to do a little bit of a crossway platform podcasting between the two. I, of course, said yes, had a great time chopping it up with them about all things media, all things supplements and the industry, and obviously Greg's journey with My Fresh Supps, his supplement company that he is currently building and on track to do amazing things with. This was from their channel. I'm just repurposing the content and bringing it over to my channel to help bring awareness to my followers and viewers. So please enjoy the episode, share, like, subscribe, do all the things. And if you don't, it's okay. You don't have to, but it does help the channel continue to grow. Without further ado, enjoy episode 107, the Suppworks podcast, Rizzology, and Greg Helton.
Interesting.
And we're back here in...
We're back. We just started.
Long Island. Well, we're back onto a new episode. Here in Long Island, we got Suppworks on the road, which I've never been to Long Island. We hit up New Jersey yesterday. We took what was supposed to be, I thought was like an hour drive. Ended up being like a 4-hour drive.
Oh, no.
Then we got to see the beautiful state of New York on the way up here so we can meet up with the lovely Mr. Nick Rizzo, a.k.a. Nicky Rizzles of Rizzles Productions.
Yep.
So this is his studio. So we're at Rizzles Studio.
Welcome. Welcome. I'm glad you guys came through. And
Oh, dude.
We originally were going to have our other guest, Mr. Greg Helton, down into Houston to the Nutrimedia studios for the OG Suppworks podcast. But
We're in the neighborhood.
yeah, we were in the neighborhood.
Kind of.
yeah, sort of 4 hours away.
You also saw the beautiful highway
Yeah.
of Long Island, not the beautiful state.
That's neighborhood.
He
to
did
us.
say that. He did say the beautiful state
Yeah.
of New York. And I was like, I mean, you saw something.
You saw like the worst part of it.
Well, I get why people now say like when they're from like different areas of New York, they say like I'm from Long Island. They don't say it's like I'm from New York.
Well,
I'm from
because
Long Island.
it's different worlds.
They're all different worlds.
Yeah. But
I've
like
been to
when people-
upstate before, and I mean, that's a whole different world.
When people
yeah,
ask
like
people
redneckish.
when they're from Texas,
Yeah.
they just say I'm from Texas, and they say like what part. You say what like city. Because if I told you what city like we
There's like
live in,
3 parts of Texas.
yeah, it's a triangle.
They're all
now,
the
when
same.
if you were in Texas and you are in a totally different area than where you're from,
and you ask
somebody
me.
guess where you were from when you say, "Oh yeah, I live in Texas." They'd be like, "Oh, you're from
No.
so because
Well,
No.
you could tell.
I feel like you could tell when someone's
Long
from-
Islanders. You could tell Brooklyn,
Yeah.
Queens people. You could tell.
Y'all have a distinctive accent, whereas there's East Texas, there's an East Texas accent,
yeah.
and the rest is just Texas.
Well, I don't know. There's a West
Yeah, it's
Texas
more of a
accent. The people in Texas who sound like Hicks the most are from far East and far West Texas.
Yeah.
That's like farmland.
Sometimes the North, like the Amarillo people, they sound like they're from Oklahoma, which is a different kind of Western accent.
That's Southern Oklahoma. We don't claim it.
we don't play. We don't. I'd love to go to Oklahoma and just check it out.
So upstate has a pretty significant accent. It's like Wisconsin.
She opens that
Yeah,
door, wait for the-
yeah. It
Hold on,
sounds
wait,
a lot
guys.
more like Midwest.
Wait, guys, ready? Hit that door. Oh, that door is crazy.
The old squeaky
I don't know
door,
if they can
huh?
hear that on the recording. That door is crazy.
When you came in, they're like, "What kind of company you're on?" They're like, "Well, it's really based on audio and video because we're doing a podcast." So like, let's give you the worst door in the entire building.
Horrific.
I think it's like the door to a haunted house.
No, it's all your worst nightmares.
And that one wasn't that bad. They did it quick.
Yeah, no, she did it well. Yeah, I always fuck it up. I always like have that. Like that long as shit.
the whole
People
thing.
down my hall start poking their heads out. They're like, "What's going on, man?" I'm like,
Did you just lower the drawbridge?
exactly, the moat's coming down.
So you from here?
I'm born and raised, man. Born
Yeah?
and raised. I was born and raised in Plainview, which is like towards the middle
Middle
You're looking
north,
at the
yeah.
north
That
and the
Sounds like
south
it's
shore.
outside of Dallas.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not Plan O. yeah. But
Plainview's nice. It's definitely North Shore.
it's cool. It's it's been nice living here.
Yeah, it's
I've been
kinda
having
bougie.
some. I
It's
told
kinda
you, I've been
bougie.
having some.
What's
Kinda
like the
bougie.
difference between the North Shore and the South Shore?
North Shore's a little more
Attitude.
ritzy.
So the South Shore is
Oh.
very like North Shore is more wealthy, more uppity. South Shore is like a bunch of we call them like harbor rats.
Yeah,
It's like
harbor rats.
Because I grew up on the South Shore, so yeah, like it's on the water. So like the bay is not the ocean. The South
No,
Shore's on
it's
the
not.
ocean. Yeah,
But that's where the people with the sailboats are.
yeah, the rich people.
Yeah.
Yeah, the rich people are up here.
I'm trying to get there.
Well, you're here.
Yes, I mean, you guys gotta like go up to like the nicer areas like Mutton Town, Manhasset, Roslyn, even right?
Yeah.
Who names these freaking places?
Old rich people.
Most of the time, actually, well,
Sounds
most
like
of the
it.
South Shore was named after like Native American tribes.
I can see that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Massapequa.
I live in Massapequa, so
Massapequa.
Yeah.
How do you? I would fucking lose the spelling bee on that one.
that one's not that bad. But like you got to like hop hog, have fun with that.
Sounds delicious. Sounds delicious.
Ronkonkoma.
Ronkonkoma.
Yeah, that's where Muscle Sport.
That sounds like some sort of a bukkake-ish kind of.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
It is. It does happen
It definitely could be.
You don't want to.
happen
You don't want to
further-
shoot a movie with old Ronkonkoma.
Oh no.
So it's weird because there's always like on Long Island, I like the further out east you go, unless you go all the way out to like Montauk, the weirder the people get, right?
What do you mean by weird?
Well, it depends. It's like they start getting weird, like from Middle Island, I'd say, from like the Middle Island.
Once you hit like
Coram
Ronkonkoma,
area,
Coram,
yeah,
and like
then
Center
it's
Reach,
weird until you get to the
the
Hamptons.
Hamptons, and then it's back like North Shore.
It's fresh white bread.
Define weird.
Yeah,
Just
drug addicts.
trashy, weird.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Like Riverhead's not awesome.
So like most of the Gulf Coast.
yeah.
I've never been.
Neither have I actually.
Well, I mean, there's all different kinds of flavors of weird because there's even different kinds of flavors of
No,
weird
this is
up in
like the
upstate.
Just like dirty weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then like there's hippie weird going upstate.
Then there's Joey Weird, which is its own thing entirely.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
weird
definitely have
flavor.
your own weird.
Yeah.
But upstate is, I thought it was. I guess I've only really been up to like I went up to Rochester. One of the partners in Fresh actually is my best friend growing up. He has a house up there, and he moved up there. So I was up there recently to golf and everything. It's kind of like Long Island.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very.
Certain areas.
It's very more like a lot more normal than I thought it'd be.
This is actually a lot more normal than I thought it would be.
Went up
What did you
to
think it was going to be like that?
went up to Alex.
Well,
Gray's church
I
one
just
time up
expected
there.
more to be like the city.
I wanted to go to the house with
Chapel of Sacred Mirrors.
Yeah.
I went during the full moon equinox.
So
fucking
cool up
thing.
there. So it's the Tool guy.
Yeah, the guy who does like the album art for Tool.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Like he's like a psychedelic artist, and he's got what he calls the Chapel of Sacred Mirrors. It wasn't a house, which is also like this hippie commune, where he does like all this art, and like all these hippies like kind of flock to go meet and like
It's open.
to serve Alex.
Oh, it's open. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Put your.
Over the bridge.
Oh, yeah.
You definitely seen his art, obviously.
Dude, it is.
Oh, yeah.
I love it.
I love Tool. I didn't know anything about the artist.
Yeah, so he does all the album covers and everything, but this chapel is supposed to be insane.
And he's
I wanted
built
to be
this
up there.
church, which is like a tribute to his art, and there's like all these faces on the
Yeah.
outside of it and
Is
everything.
it like the double faces and triple faces?
Oh yeah,
The artwork?
Yeah.
It is?
But like
with all
It's
the
like with human
coloring the
anatomy, but with
Yeah.
like real trippy
Yeah,
colors. and stuff.
you see, like on Spotify, they have that
Yeah.
like,
Yep.
human anatomy where the
But it's, like,
the levels of the
anatomically
Tool
correct.
album will kind of just degrade down to like nothing, and then it'll go back from cellular to skeletal to muscular to then the skin layer.
Right.
It's cool.
Right.
Who'd you get poke from?
I don't
have
know.
no idea.
DoorDash.
Who's it from? Who's it from? Okay World. Pokeworks. Oh yeah, that's over in Syosset. You guys like literally drove past it.
Oh, it's warm. Thank God.
Wait, I feel like I've seen you guys try that before on a podcast.
I have. This is like what a spam
musabi.
on a.
It's spam on a sushi roll with
It's like called
seaweed
musabi.
paper.
I think it's called musabi.
I saw this and I was like, that looks like it's hot. I'm gonna get that thing.
Yeah.
Well, go ahead and taste test it. Let's
Taste test it. Come on.
All right,
bro.
all right,
Wait,
all right.
wait,
Well,
looks like
keep us waiting.
I've never had spam my entire life.
It looks like something straight out of Pokemon.
We got to cut this thing up then.
I don't know.
I had a Puerto Rican roommate that could have went very differently than what I was going.
Where were we going with
I was
that?
pausing before I said roommate. Easy, everybody. Don't get your pitchforks out. Had a Puerto Rican roommate in college, and we went to his mom's house, like just because they were having a family party, everything like that. Bro, not only was the cooking phenomenal, spam and eggs the next morning. It was delicious.
Is that
Spam's
more-
just like cheap ham bacon.
It's
right?
canned meat.
I think it's a Hawaiian thing, isn't it?
That's where I've seen people try that. I think.
Yeah.
It
Poke is actually a Hawaiian thing, I believe.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
I went to Hawaii twice solo. Just decided to just go and hang
Look
out.
at you.
Oh,
And it was-
poke.
It was dope. You get poke from the corner store for like $5, and it's fresh. They caught that tuna that morning.
I was showing him. I just made my own crispy rice and spicy tuna the other day for the first time.
Rice fucks. God,
Dude, I'll show
crispy
you a
rice.
picture of it. It's incredible.
Crispy
wanna
rice
try
from
that.
IMC is really good in town.
So we were just talking about Montauk and the Hamptons. So he goes out there and he does big tuna fishing. So he brought us some fresh tuna, and we were like,
Is your partner?
no, just a buddy of mine.
What does he go 30 miles out?
Yeah.
It's sick.
Dude, we need to get into your story, your origin story, Greg, because
Greg's got a lot of origin stories.
yeah, people need to know. I actually don't even know your whole story, to be
that's
honest
great.
with you. I know, like, I'm familiar with some of your work, but like,
Yeah, how'd you get looped
you
in to our industry?
I feel like
yeah.
that's awesome.
Sorry, audience, we got a lot going on. Right
I feel
That's
like
okay. I love
I feel like I've explained my origin story on this podcast in your office for the third time
now.
now.
Let's do it right now.
well, we're gonna make
all
it weird.
No,
We're
so
gonna ask the hard questions.
when I was in,
Like, did they have bathrooms like at the places you worked at where you have to poop next to, you know?
did they have
That's the poop.
No, they had outhouses.
Remember at Cellucor, there was like that one room where it was like one bathroom, but there was like a crack this big, so you could like see people's shoes, but it was like right next to all the offices.
Yeah.
It's like you'd just be pooping right next to everyone working.
this one? I mean, at Muscle Sport, it was next to the warehouse, so that wasn't bad.
Yeah, but you could like oh, Joey's in there. Just by the shoes.
Yeah, actually, pretty much. So you might know this. Do you remember Microburst?
Wait. This sounds familiar.
So this is probably back in 2011, 2010 or whatever. It was like crowdsourced logo designs,
Okay. Yeah,
but
yeah.
where people would create contests. So it's like similar to 99 Designs, right?
Yeah.
So I got really into that when I was in college, and I was making decent amount, like a couple grand a month on that just by winning contests. I would do a shit ton of free work. So that's how I got into like really loving like logo design and doing like packaging and labeling and branding.
Mm-hmm.
Also, that was about the same time that I started to get into working out myself.
Mm-hmm.
So this is like when Instagram first started. So the influencer thing was happening, Shreds was happening.
Mm-hmm.
I had a buddy of mine, Matt Acton, who used to be a muscle. Yeah,
Fucking name drop.
yeah, little Matt Acton. He was the manager of Shredded RX, which is a store out here, a supplement store.
Okay.
So I knew him through that. I knew him through the industry, and he's like, "Yo, this company that I'm with is looking for t-shirt designs." So he linked me up with Jay. So I did some freelance work for him. I went into his office, and I was just like, I basically just tore their labels apart.
Damn.
Yeah, and then he's like, "Well, you want to come work for me?" So I started there part-time while I was in college and ended up working full-time the day that I graduated. So I was there. They had no marketing department. I learned everything on the fly. I did a little bit of everything. I was doing invoicing. I was doing warehouse packing. I was doing everything. But while I was trying to build what I considered a marketing and creative department. So we were there. I was there for about 10 years. I got into sales somewhere along the way. Made a lot of good relationships with brick and mortar accounts. 2020 came along, and Nick, or actually there's a 6-month period in between.
So did COVID. COVID came along then too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's a 6-month period between this is gonna be funny.
Yeah.
Between Muscle Sport and Ryse that I'd like to forget about, but I was with Nutra Innovations.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I remember.
One of your clients,
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
So I was there.
Which actually, those labels are great.
Yeah, rebranded that.
Yeah.
So I did the whole.
format's good, yeah.
So and it was funny because it's kind of the same way where I was actually doing freelance work for Chad, and then he was like, "You want to just come over and be the president of my company?" And I was like, "Sure, why not?" I've been in Muscle Sport for 9.5, 10 years.
Did you go down to Georgia?
Yeah, a couple times.
Oh,
I wasn't going to move there.
yeah.
No, but I went down there a couple times. So I saw their spot. I went over to NutriCap, drove through Jared's Park, which is very intimidating over there.
Yeah.
I'm sure that is.
There's a whole.
What is that?
Jared Wheat owns High Tech, and it's just
He's one of the secret mafia dons of the industry.
yeah.
For sure.
It's a giant conglomerate. And the guy's been spending millions and millions of dollars every year fighting the FDA to keep things like DMAA in, it's still able to be manufactured. He owns a couple brands. Hostile takes over a couple brands.
Yeah.
So I saw that whole thing over there. Chad got like really just pissy with me one day, and I was like, I'm not working for someone like this. And it happened to be while Nick was like, I need help at Ryse. So I joined there as VP, I guess was my technical title. Offered me some equity. Some of the equity I was just handed. Some of the equity I had to work into based on goals and whatnot.
How big were they at the time?
3 million.
Mm.
Yeah. And
They
I
had
think-
some sales.
Yeah. And then I think when I left, it was, during that year, it was like 3 to 13, something like that. And then when I left, I believe it was just shy of 100. I think it was close 91 or so. And we're talking this year, they're going to do 210, 220.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's hard to say. So,
Massive.
so you started like in being a graphic artist.
Yeah.
Then you got into, because you're actually like, you went to school for graphic art, right?
Yeah. Well, I went for visual communication. So yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You're like an actual artist.
I was an actual artist before I realized that I wanted to make money.
I just diddle.
Yeah.
Until it looks cool.
That's pretty much how you. I mean, it's.
Yeah.
I went to school for 4 years for.
That's how I met
design,
my wife.
But
Just playing.
me too. Definitely me too.
I gotta get a text back before I even get a wife. So
Just diddle till I look cool, you know?
But yeah, I've done art and design at every brand that I've been with.
Uh-huh.
But that's not all I did at every brand.
Right. You kind of have multiple hats.
I also really love the sales and like building a brand aspect, like all of it.
Uh-huh.
So I feel like if I just did the graphic part, I would get bored.
Well, they're kind of intrinsic in many ways.
Mm-hmm. I should be.
Conversations we have with a lot of our clients, as you saw today.
Oh yeah, the packaging is what sells the product.
Yeah.
And you get that like external validation, like when you can get a customer like excited about bringing your product in, you're like, I fucking put my hands on this thing.
Yeah.
And then they see it and they're like, oh, that does look cool. It's like, this
Yeah.
feels good. Pat me on the back more, please.
That's and that's what I always enjoyed about it. Like it was like the whole thing. And this is kind of like why I always hated when I would try to hire other designers and they would come in with, someone from Metrics, right? They would come in and be like, oh, I did the packaging for this. It's like, well, I know the brand Metrics and I know you're not the only one who touched that packaging. You're one
I
of
fucking hate
probably 6 people that touched it. So what part did you really do? Because if you can bring this from a blank piece of paper to what you did by yourself, okay. But you obviously know how it works. Like you have illustrators that work for you. You have.
Well, yeah, our thing's a little different because we try to remove the ego from it, so it's just all about make art, make money. So we come in as an attachment to anyone's company. So a lot of times we're inheriting other people's work.
Yeah,
and then we have to find ways. Like I think
you did it with.
I've inherited like 2 of yours.
Yeah,
old ones that you did. Which I'm like when they came to me, I was like, everything's fundamentally sound here.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Thanks.
there's nothing wrong with the design language that we have going on here. And most of the time there's like, I just want to release a new SKU and I want to just try something different.
Yeah.
That's usually what we do. It's like, all right, well, how do we tweak this while still retaining
tweak it, make it yours eventually.
I don't care about making it mine at all most of the time, unless it's something that we start completely from scratch. And like you said, it's like a blank slate.
Right.
And there's a little bit more, I guess, like emotionally involved. But you know just as well as I do when you get too emotionally involved.
I don't anymore. I also don't freelance anymore.
Right. Like, you just, you make your babies and you see them grow up to get stabbed in the back or, like all kinds of fucked up things happen or, it's hard to get emotionally attached now. So you just have to just call a price on it and say, well, this is what it's worth to me. And then leave, do your best, in your capacity to do. And then whatever the brand does, whether it's a great massive success, great. That's what was intended to happen. Or it's like, well, you bought it. You own, here's the keys.
Yeah. Don't crash it.
Yeah. If you crash it, that's kind of on you. So you have to remove yourself fundamentally, emotionally from the artwork side. Or I think a lot of people are going to crash and burn in this thing, especially in the freelance space. So,
yeah. It's
tough as artist wise, it is tough to remove yourself from that sometimes.
Yeah, that's why I almost don't like to call myself an artist because
but you have to because you are.
Yeah, we are creating art and it's a creative aspect, but at the end of the day, it's their company. They own it. They're making money off of it. They're feeding families and they're stuff like that. So like for me to be like, oh, that's my art. Yeah,
but tell me you don't get jazzed up looking at seeing things that you've done.
There's nothing jazzier, dude.
That's what I'm saying.
Nothing jazzier.
Seeing things distributed not only across the internet, but on actual brick and mortar shelves.
We walked into HEB the other day and we saw the Redefined. It was like, dude, like I shop here.
Yeah.
But when we first started,
I saw you post that. Yeah.
Trying to make this about me, but and same thing with Joey. Like, shoot, your stuff's all over the world at this point. Yeah. Your stuff's all over.
I was talking earlier, like on the car ride here. I was like, it is fucking wild.
Yeah.
That like with the internet and everything these days, how not only are products like nationally distributed, sometimes they're internationally distributed.
Oh yeah.
And how it's a trip for us to be able to like come out to places like this, and there's people at the facilities we've gone to who knew who I was and I didn't know who they were.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean that happens a lot too, and it also happens the other way around for me. Like it is surreal for me for sure to walk into like Walmart and see the licenses and remember like, okay, 2 hours before I proposed to my current wife, I was drunk in Nashville. On a Zoom call when we closed the Godzilla deal.
Yeah.
So like I had to, I was on that call obviously with our licensing broker and with Nick, and we did that whole thing. And then 2 hours later, like one of the biggest parts of my life happened.
Yeah.
And now I go and I see that brand and that license and those type of things.
Sort of synonymous. It's kind of weirdly entangled into your life.
Yeah, right. So that's always, and I also like I look at the different licenses and I'm like, all right, I remember the first one that I worked on was Sunny D. I remember, and like, I would create. Sometimes along with Justin, you probably know Justin Miali. He's a designer. He's now the head designer at Ryse.
I've never met him personally.
Yeah. So he worked with me for a while. He actually was the owner of Purge.
Okay.
So he came over to Muscle Sport and he was helping me out with some design stuff. We also like created his brand for him, and it was a little trade off between him and Jay owning that, and then that all crashed and burned. But so I've known him for a while. But me and him would put together these pitch decks for the licenses. And it was so like I'm sitting here remembering each one of those when I'm in a giant major retailer like Walmart. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And it's also all over the world.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Remember the first time I saw like Glaxon in China and Australia, I was like, holy
yeah.
shit.
It's crazy.
That was wild.
So to go back to that point, though, that I understand taking yourself out of that. You have to at times because obviously as an artist, though, you always try to achieve perfection, and technically there is none in theory.
No, you hate it once you make it.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
in theory, there's no
I've said that
perfection
about a
there.
lot of things. Like as soon as you're done with it and it's in the wild, it sucks.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, for sure.
You find all the things,
There's like certain things that I've done for Fresh at least where like I still really love the way it came out.
Fresh is pretty fundamentally sound, like top to bottom.
Yeah, but it's also like it's so overly simple. I think
the genius of it.
which is why I like it, and it's also nothing like I've ever done before.
Are you telling me you haven't thought about your V2 labels at all?
Well, it doesn't matter because they're always evolving with his character.
Yeah.
You can just give it a hat. Give it
So I have a
give it
V2.
different
I had a
facial
V2
expression.
logo that I was like considering like when to do it, but with all the different things that we do, like with limited edition drops or whatever, like you're talking, like we did the Uncle Sam for the Rocket Pop, we did the alien face.
Yeah.
It's almost so
Oh,
easy
yeah.
to just never change it.
It's all LTO at this
Right,
point.
yeah.
It's constantly evolving. That's why it's there's no
right.
V2. It's like every other new one's a new evolution.
Yeah. Because everyone's different. Like there's an alien, I have a Sasquatch one that we were
You
going
have
to
a
do for National
Sasquatch?
Sasquatch Day.
Oh man.
which was
awesome.
just funny. But
Yeah.
I could show it to you.
Hell yeah.
Show us his ass.
But that's what's really cool about that branding format is it can constantly evolve that way, and it still keeps all the branding intact. And because it's like a character, like it can evolve that way. That was the cool
And
thing.
we
we've
have
talked
those,
about
like,
how
chevrons
mascots like trump like paid athletes and stuff.
Yeah,
Dude,
100%.
and I like and that's like the kind of thing where it's also the most simple mascot that I could have ever come up with. So it's like I didn't paint. The brand was going to be called Gravity.
Yeah.
And I started to design it, and I was like, this is too much like Glaxon.
It's almost too serious.
And I'm also it felt like I was painted into this corner of a theme that I didn't want to be painted into. So I was like, why don't we do something fresh? Why don't we do something fresh?
Fresh.
And I kind of like pitched that to my manufacturing partner, Zach, also the two best men at my wedding and my partners.
Yeah.
I pitched it to them, and they're like, oh, it's a weird name. It's kind of like health food, organic. I'm like, let me design it
You'll
and
see.
show you what I'm talking about, because that's not what I
Lifestyle
mean by
fresh.
fresh. Yeah. So
Do you guys see that when you work with clients that if it's too serious, the sales may not actually get to the point that they're.
There's a lot of times where we have issues where like naming conventions get in the way. I mean, we both have like ABE is one of our clients. Like it's called all black everything, but like one of our issues is like, well, we don't necessarily want everything always to be black because it's hard to sell flavor when everything's black.
Yeah.
So we had to go back to the drawing board of like, well, how do we represent this like notion of ABE, which was really cool in the 2000s, but it's not super like trendy right now, but it's an international brand. So over in the UK, it's still doing really well. But then how do you introduce it to the American market with something that's just not as trending right now? And the name is literally all black everything.
Yeah.
So how do you make packaging that isn't all black everything? You know what I mean? So like we've gone through many iterations of trying to find a way to introduce color and flavor while still retaining
Also
that.
maintaining that brand identity.
Yeah, which is why it's all kind of going more to the ABE. It's just called Abe or something like that. So, yeah. So like, this is freaking awesome. Can I show this?
yeah.
What did you do?
We're probably never going to launch
Keep
it, but it
on
was
for
just
you, it's manual.
hilarious.
But what was that one for?
Why not?
The Sasquatch.
Honestly, I was like probably just took an edible one night.
I like
and I
how
was
the
like,
H has the Sasquatch.
Yeah, I'm gonna
in
make
it.
it
Yes,
Sasquatch.
and I like doing those. I love Easter eggs and like the little cool things.
Are you hand drawing that pen tool, or are you just kind of finding a little
Absolutely
guy?
not.
And
That was a little icon from
Yeah, yeah.
Shutterstock. So it's funny. This was. I think we just did this.
but even the texture looks like it's good. on the hair.
Yeah. So I mean,
Sick.
and then I was like, why can we? I was probably watching a Sasquatch documentary, and I was like, I wonder if there's a National Bigfoot Day.
Yeah.
And I was like, what's launching for this? Yeah, there is. I found it. So maybe it's in the chamber. But also, what would the flavor be? And I don't know. I also have we were gonna do a.
That is interesting. What would the flavor be? Oh, it could be anything though.
Well, then I'm thinking like the National Lampoon movies. Like, what did Sasquatch always eat? Wasn't it ice cream?
I don't know. I don't remember those.
Me neither. You got me thinking about like Harry and the Hendersons kind of.
Maybe that's what I was
stuff.
talking about. Yeah.
Maybe maybe you do a campfire.
Cheeseburgers. He ate fucking cheeseburgers.
Can't make a
Or at least
cheeseburger.
Can't make a
Workout.
cheeseburger
Why don't
flavor.
you do like a campfire s'more?
that makes sense. Yeah. There you go.
A pre-workout.
It's in
No, a
the
protein.
woods.
You don't have a
We'd
protein.
have to. No, we're working on one. Pricing is finally
pre-workout.
coming down.
Yeah.
Do it in a pre-workout. Fuck it.
S'mores pre-workout.
It is-
We're getting on G Fuel level now.
That's what I'm saying, man. But you might as well have fun with it. You had fun with the label.
It's true.
Yeah, I think
think
some
outside
people
the
can get
box
away
on
with
it.
doing weird stuff sometimes. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
they just did the Oreo collab with the gummies. What is it called?
Oreo collab with gummies.
I don't know, this little sour gummies, the Sour Patch Kids.
With
Yeah.
Oreo?
Oreo did a
Mondelez.
Sour Patch Kids. Yeah.
Really?
Same parent company.
Well, yeah.
owns it both.
It doesn't make I bought it. It was weird, but I liked it.
Was it good?
I think we just bought it out of novelty. That was
It's like a worms and dirt
that's-
cake.
yeah.
Like-
Because you're not expecting it.
that's what an LTO
Yeah,
is.
the
Yeah,
worms and
sure.
dirt cake. That's
yeah,
right, man.
Yeah.
I remember
Makes
that
sense.
shit when I was little,
Yeah.
dude. That stuff
forgot about
slapped,
that.
man. That was so good.
Shit. Maybe they got a point there.
Like the Oreo like pudding? with
Yes.
what
Oh,
you used
man.
to call them like dirt buckets or whatever.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Potato.
Buckets.
Mud buckets.
Mud.
Yeah, if the novelty's there, I think it would work. I mean, it obviously has to like taste decently good.
But if it's an LTO and people want to try it just for content or just for
Just run
to
1,000
try
of
it,
them or something,
right.
and
Yeah.
release them, whatever. Like
Do you have trouble with I guess steering clients into certain directions where maybe everything else on the branding side is stellar and on point, but that manufacturing side is just not where it needs to be?
well, that's where it goes into Joey.
Oh boy, that
Yeah.
happens a lot.
Yeah, so like if they don't have a good, so one of the biggest complications, and I'm sure you know, so you're kind of really ingrained in it. So like you know how to direct this, but there's a triangulation that happens where there's the company that's doing or the artist, whoever's doing the labels. There's the R&D person who's doing like the fine print on the back, the flavoring, all the stuff that goes actually the chef that's actually cooking in the kitchen as far as the recipe. And then there's like
And there's like even marketing in like your supplement facts panel, like not just
yeah.
like in the blends, but like how things are said.
It can
Right.
it can get in deep, but just like on the service, and then it goes to the manufacturing side where like they're actually making it, and they have all types of places where they can fudge things and fuck things up.
Oh yeah.
And there's a triangulation of communication that has to be really sound. You have to have good relationships with all your people where you can really talk and that doesn't always happen. That's where when people see mistakes on labels, it's always some sort of breakdown of something that changed somewhere.
Or you have communication between
Right,
all
and
channels.
someone didn't get the memo, or and it's always money and time for the most part. It's like, look, we needed to launch this time. If we spend any more time on this, we're going to miss this. We've already pre-sold this much, and
Somebody submitted a change order, it never got approved in time.
yeah,
Good times.
stuff like that. Or like something happens on the manufacturing side where like something happened on an ingredient, so they had to tweak something, and the weights were a little bit different, or change the flavoring a little
That
bit.
happens a lot.
Yeah, and
'Cause I dealt with that with Muscle Sport with 220 SKUs.
it's constantly happening.
and I
all the
rebranded
time.
all of them at the exact same time, and there was another like
Oh God, what a
6
pain.
brands.
I don't
Yeah.
envy you on that.
Well, in that case, it doesn't become you're creating art and you're just making little tweaks of changes.
Yeah.
And you'll know this as well as I do. You need to keep different file types. There's a working file that's like everything that's what's called inline text.
Yeah.
And then there's an outline file, so what you send out to the printer. That's what they actually take the machines and print, because they don't keep all these fonts in their database.
No, they
That's what I was
print
gonna
they print
ask you.
shapes.
So that's what I was going to ask you when I saw you with the Google Drive, because obviously this side is totally new to me. I don't deal in the graphic side ever, but I saw you had all the different iterations of that label. So I assume
Yeah.
you have the base layer,
Yeah.
you have that, and then you're able to then change just one layer of the
Kind
graphic
of.
to make the
So
Sasquatch.
they're
right?
actually separate files. So like it would be to talk more kind of
so you
in
combine
context.
you combine the different files on one.
So for instance, I have a working
Panel.
folder. So like this is my working folder, right? So I have all my working labels, which has live editable type. Usually
Live
doesn't have
text.
the correct, UPC codes on it. usually things have to be changed or
Those
whatever.
will be updated once you actually bring
Right.
it to
This is
market.
why it's complicated, because if you make a change on one file,
you have
to make them on both to keep them consistent, which when things are changing dynamically with that triangulation and everything needs to go to print and something happened and you didn't get that, maybe you change the outline file.
but this is what a print file looks like.
Right.
So now
And also
that's
some
not gonna
clients
print
they
pink and
can't
blue.
open those files. So,
Yeah.
not?
so you have
No.
to export
Oh,
them.
code.
You're not going to print pink and blue. So essentially what you're looking at, like the magenta color in there is a spot UV, which is just like a flat gloss.
Oh,
Or
okay.
just gloss rather. And then
So that's going to
blue
be
is
gloss
texture.
black.
You can call
It'll
the
just be gloss and then whatever the color underneath it.
It's texture only.
you call
So
the
you-
varnish. You basically they realize that that's a
You're
varnish
saying this
plate.
needs to be this needs to
Exactly.
be
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a
So there's
map.
no confusion.
Right.
Interesting.
Yeah. So you color code it because that's how the machine, and that's why the white plate, because if we made it white, it would be very complicated
Yeah.
to try.
So the
and
white
edit it.
colors on here are not white.
No, they are.
So
But
they're
everything
white,
that's
yeah.
blue.
It's so complicated.
Yes. Yeah.
Blue I use for tack, but I change it to black usually for
That's awesome.
Because if it's a
because
digital
he likes
print,
it, as a registration.
Yeah.
But-
Yeah, white is a color, but blue and pink, those aren't
So
colors.
blue and pink are
all
out.
right, this is how I'll, this
So
is
now
how
here's
I'll
a stupid
explain it.
question real quick, and then I'll let you continue.
Yeah.
What if you have blue and pink on the label?
Doesn't
You got to pick a different
Yes,
color for the map.
mistakes
Or
do
it
happen
doesn't
here.
matter,
Yeah.
yeah.
It
Yeah.
technically doesn't matter,
What if you
but
make a Miami
working,
Vice flavor?
I have a Miami Vice.
So then what do you do when you send that?
So I just know that I don't like those colors don't matter to me. And a lot of times when I'm working with like a spot UV that has literally looks like it's those two colors, exactly like what you're talking about, I won't work on them together, or I'll use a different, like an orange color so I can see things on top, and then I'll just change it at the end.
Yeah. You name the swatch, and when you name the swatch, the printer will be able to like. So if it's a white plate layer, you can call it like HDPI white.
So when you send them
Doesn't-
these files, you're not obviously just sending them the PDF. Let's just call it.
So
So
it's-
I know it's not.
Well,
But let's just say
actually,
it's you're not. You're,
sometimes it is.
but within that, it has all of the layers in there for them to see.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
All
So
the
it's not just
instructions
like
are on
everything
there.
already combined, and that's it.
And then what'll happen is their printing software will essentially they'll print just flat white bop, which is the material essentially. If you're using that, right? So it'll just be like a glossy plastic label, and then they'll print white over it completely, so it's not transparent.
White
with
ink.
The ink. Yeah, so it'll be a complete.
Think of like priming when you prime a wall when you're painting.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So then they'll print what I always label as just the art layer, which is just all of the normal colors, the way
your
that it's
inks.
going to see.
Gotcha.
And then what you'll do is you'll print varnishes on top. So that pink layer that you saw will print a glossy varnish on top of certain areas only, while the rest of it stays maybe soft touch or matte or whatever. And then that blue area that you saw will print again over top of that, but it'll be raised texture.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So normally
Like
those are
think of it three-dimensionally, stacked on top of each other.
New world for me.
So when you change
interesting.
something and it affects those layers, you have to change all of them. So you have two files, right? You have your working and you have your outline.
right.
If you've already, this is when you usually outline a file, that's like the point of no return. You want to tell people that like, hey, don't change anything after this, because this is when shit gets complicated.
Yeah.
Because if we change something, I'm now changing not only 4 layers, but on 2 files. And I have to send you additional files because you can't open Illustrator in your computer. So I've got 3 files. Let's say you've got 4 SKUs. So you've got 4 different flavors. That's 12 files, but it's 4 layers. So that's what's 12 times 4? 48 layers.
Yeah.
So if you change one thing that affects all of them, you have to change all 48 files. Now, if you're doing this on the fly, when they're like, "Hey, I need these files because I need to,"
You can do it in 15 minutes. It won't take long.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Right.
But if you fuck
How many times do you get told that?
And this is where the mistakes happen.
this is where
too.
the mistakes happen.
Yeah,
all the
a
time.
single
You had that revision to me in like 10
Yes.
minutes.
Well,
right?
think of
Oh,
like
yeah,
a
sure.
think of like a typo, and you fix it on the actual art layer, right? And it says the right.
We do it all the time.
And then all your other layers aren't accounting for that typo. So all those different letters are just completely off. If you were to
Right. So you might have like, the word pre-workout spelled incorrectly on your, not that you would ever do this, but
Let's
on
say you
your,
fat
on your
thumbed it.
texture.
Yeah. You went per workout, PER workout.
So now the texture reads per workout, but the art underneath that you can see reads pre-workout. And it's like, fuck.
Sick.
It's,
Sick.
and when you're working with a massive SKU base and constant changes, because R&D sucks. You guys suck.
Yeah. Well,
It's just what happens because I mean, honestly, like what I find the most annoying is how many different times trademarked ingredients will change how they want things listed.
oh yeah.
It's like,
So
dude,
annoying.
like I launch new flavors all the time. Like, can you guys fucking stop? Because I don't want to keep reprinting all my.
Well, sometimes it'll be like in that step where it's like, we've gotten a label from you. We're happy with it. You're happy with it. We send it to the ingredient manufacturer. They're like, well, could you just, reverse this?
I just won't.
Could you
By
put
the way,
trademark
I just won't do
first?
it.
Our registration came in and it's no longer a TM. It's a little R.
Yeah.
That's the worst, dude.
Yeah, it's like little things like that.
Like, when did this happen? Oh, it happened the day before yesterday. And it's like, oh, well, great news. Okay, well, now I can just completely inconvenience my whole fucking life because you
And
got
now you have
information
to tell the printer
2 days
who's
ago.
already sent you the proof that
You
you already
approved 'em.
approved, and you're just like, well,
Literally stop the press.
yeah.
Which that's not how they operate. They queue things up weeks before.
Yeah.
So they say back of the line. But
Then you get really screwed.
this is what I was saying earlier.
They shove you to the back.
This
of
is
the
what I was
line
saying
and
earlier,
you
where
presume.
the time and the money thing comes in place because
Your
let's say
brand
we're
is pissed
charging.
because they're missing a launch window.
Let's
or
say I'm
some
charging
sale
by
that
the
they
hour,
promoted.
and then they're going to charge you an additional fee for reproofing because sometimes they do that. So
Yeah.
now, if as the brand owner, he's now getting an additional bill for like $800 for something that a trademarked ingredient company put on them on the last minute. And so at some point they say, "I ain't fucking doing that.
Yeah.
Just run it."
Yeah.
That happens just about every single time.
It happens all the time. I mean, look, I'll be honest with you. Like, even there's something that I'm printing right now. I haven't gotten the approval. I know I did it right, so I'm not worried about it. I already sent the art off to print. I'm not waiting for XXX ingredient company 6 days to look at my
Porn ingredient
SFP.
company.
Sometimes they take several weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's like
In our contract, there's a little stipulation with an asterisk that says like we cannot rely on the communication times
Right.
of your other partners when it comes to approving some of these things because some manufacturers just don't do it.
Right.
Like they won't look at it. They don't care. Like just send us a label. We're just going to slap it on.
I've
there.
also gotten, there's some manufacturers that I'll get
They care a lot.
SFPs
Yeah.
from when I used to do, freelance work for clients. And it'll come over and I'm like, this is spelled wrong. This is spelled. I'm like, this is crazy. Because if I didn't give a shit and I was just your typical artist,
We do that all the time.
I would just spell this wrong. And now it's on you.
We make them sign something that says whatever you give us, we're going to put in verbatim.
Yeah.
We're going to change it if we see an issue.
Yeah. And that's what I would do. But it
Yeah.
also annoys me. Because
But that's also not my job.
Well, because
that's what I'm saying.
they should have their shit together.
Well, yeah. Well,
in a
let's-
perfect world.
because then you
You're
become
right.
an attorney,
We're putting too much faith sometimes in.
Right.
yeah.
and that's $400 an hour.
right.
You know what I mean?
Well, that's what I was going to say. It's like when I used to do freelance for clients, they would be like, well, how do I list this? How should I list this? And I'm like, listen, what I quoted you was for designing,
Yeah.
not
Not
consulting.
compliance.
Yeah.
And not compliance. Like I'm going to do some compliance work for you, but I'm not responsible for it.
Right.
And it's hard to, and it's like, if I didn't do design work in this industry for 13 years, I wouldn't be able to do the compliance work for
It's a
you.
specialty thing.
Right.
It's highly
So,
specialized.
and I'm not charging you for it.
And it depends on which label Nazi you're talking to from one to the next on how it's
Well,
going
that's
to be a
one
little bit
other
different.
thing. You guys all have a different opinion on how that shit's.
And we all think we
Dude,
are the right way.
all
SFP
think
on the
different.
left side of the label, technically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if we're being honest, it's on a
circle.
cylinder.
Yeah. So it's
True.
irrelevant.
So what is
The left can become the right. You can go to China by going east or west.
This
Not
is
wrong.
true.
I've
Yeah, yeah.
done both.
I've come to that same realization because I think one time Chris Waldron called me on. He's like, "It should be on the other side."
He's the one who called me on it. And
Yeah, I was like, it doesn't
who-
really matter, man.
But the consumers who this law, and I couldn't even find it in CFR, but
I read it too.
yeah, I tried to find it. and
It's
I was
not.
like,
It's a lot of that language non-specific intentionally.
right. Well, yeah, because it's whether they want to make an example of you or not. But it's
Right,
also like you have to think about it. How is the consumer consuming the product? They're not taking the label off and
Yeah.
laying it on a flat wall or on a flat table or whatever. They're looking at it as a cylinder.
Yeah.
So whether you move left or right, it's still on one of those sides.
Yeah.
So it's technically the front of my label is the left of the label.
Yeah, because sometimes you orient things.
Yeah, sometimes you have like an offset label.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's a whole
all
different
mine.
deal.
That's how it is.
You got offsets?
Yeah.
Those are so sick.
Yeah. You can get creative with them. You can get more space by doing that sometimes. Sometimes it ruins everything though.
So technically the front of my label is all the way to the right,
Yeah, you're right.
That's
which
clever as
also
fuck.
means that this is to the left, however you're looking at it.
Yeah.
So it gets,
I guess they would reference it from PDP, principal display panel.
Right,
If
exactly.
you wanted to get technical. But then we have this argument.
Well, it's like a
all the time.
video game. One should go off one end of the screen, you end up on the other one. You know, technically it is to the right. It's kind of like all the way to the right. It's so far right that it's left.
it also doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's so useless. Like there's so many things that people like. Do you follow a minimum type point?
6 point.
Yeah.
Try to do that on a stick pack.
It's fucking try to do it on a 250cc bottle. It's
Yeah.
Yeah,
impossible.
impossible.
Yeah.
Try to do that
I
on
don't follow
Adderall.
UPC regulations either.
You guys make these monster fucking formulas, and then you want to put it on little
The
capsules.
tiniest
yeah,
bottle possible. Yeah.
that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that in my opinion, that's like bending a rule. Like you have all the content you're supposed to have.
It's not going to hurt anyone.
Yeah,
and if you can read
except for like an
reasonably.
old lady's eyes is what it's going to hurt.
I don't think an old lady should be taking a fat burner anyway.
Yeah, it's not our target demo.
Wants to get shredded though.
Yeah, true.
Yo.
This is true.
I mean, like people that are in our target demographic, they're going to be like, oh yeah. And they'll get up on that thing like they're a jeweler or something, and they'll be like, oh wow, okay.
Yeah,
you can get very granular, and then you can sit around and listen to everyone talking shit about you anyways. But at the end of the day, like, and I tell this to people all the time, like, you just need to get products out there. You need to get them sold. You need to just fix it later.
Yeah.
Unless it's a major issue.
And that's the thing. Unless you're doing something like, purposefully harmful to someone,
right?
The FDA does give you, an opportunity to fix your mistakes.
Right.
You just have to respond to the letters.
Yeah. Yeah.
A lot of people don't even.
Which most people don't
the FDA
respond
is
to
like,
the letters.
hey, we noticed you had a nice little fuck up here. Here's the letter, and if you write us back and tell you how we're going to fix it,
We're
then
gonna
you're
ignore you
okay.
again.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
What is it, a 173?
What if you don't respond?
And then they send you another letter.
And what happens after that?
Like we noticed you didn't make this change.
Yeah.
Well, they could come banging
Please
on your
respond
door,
to
but it
us
really
in
just kind
60
of depends
days.
on how much, like how big you are, and how much money you have, and how
Or
much
what you did, because there's two different departments that could bang on your door. There's regulatory, and then there's OCI. And the OCI is the Office of Criminal Investigation.
That's
It's
when you know
part
you
of
fucked up.
DOJ.
So that's so then you're talking about the same people like the DEA and the Department of Justice that are coming after you. And it's not just,
You're on a radar now.
you're on more than a radar. You're going to spend a shit ton of money to get out of whatever you're in.
But usually that's not like little mistakes on your label. That's like,
No, that's like
mislabeling.
Yeah, adulterated product or having banned ingredients or straight up drugs.
Yeah.
Got to do a lot of things to get that kind of attention.
Yeah.
You put crack in that pre-workout. It's actual crack.
Yeah. And usually you're making.
You labeled it crack.
Really?
What the
You
fuck
labeled
is wrong with you?
No, it was C, and then you put stars for the rest of it. You're like, what is it?
It's funny because the adulterated label portion of it is what you get hit with most often.
Yeah.
Not for selling the ingredient. It's by saying it's something else or saying that it's a dietary ingredient when it's not.
I mean, there's some people that say that they're selling like banned ingredients and the banned ingredients aren't even in there. I mean, we've seen that recently.
Which is funny enough because it's like these people will get, and then that's why they come after you for adulterated label rather than,
Well, it's more than that. It's it's like the adulterated label. The product's also adulterated and it's misbranded because it doesn't have what it says is on the label, which is illegal to begin with. So it's like there's no right way out of that scenario.
It's like inception of.
Yeah.
Well, it's like SARMs, right? Like if you think about it, I would venture to say right now, 99.9% of the SARMs that you ever walk into a supplement store, depending on the brand, and most likely not depending on the brand, is not a SARM.
No.
So now it's
You don't know what it is.
It's probably creatine monohydrate.
It's a fucking mystery box is what it is.
It's a creatine monohydrate, mag stearate, and whatever excipients you need to keep the pills from falling apart. And and what's funny is like they're going to get nailed for selling a banned ingredient, and that banned ingredient is probably not even in there.
That's
Probably
on them.
something that's totally
Which
fine.
is crazy. It's like selling someone sugar packets and then going to jail for selling cocaine.
Yeah, telling them it's cocaine.
Right. And that's sort of like,
Yeah.
so
Entirely up to them.
It's a wild west, Nicky Rizzles.
It's interesting, man.
Yeah.
I don't get to hear this. That's why I'm quiet. I'm just sitting here, taking
It's
it all in.
the most
it's a lot of stuff that I
unprofessional
don't deal with
professional
or have to
industry.
deal with, which I'm cool with because it's not my specialty. So
Yeah.
I'm all right with that.
Speaking of things you have to deal with, you have an important date coming up
Oh yeah.
in about what?
Oh,
30
time.
minutes?
Yeah.
30
In
minutes.
about 30 minutes, I have to give my dog Kenji his seizure medicine.
Now I wanted to get into this.
he's
You can get into it. I get into it all the time.
All right, your dog. All right, let the people at home know what kind of dog is this,
I have a Japanese Akita named Kenji.
and it's how big?
He's 92 pounds.
How tall is that off the floor?
show you.
He's probably like right here if he was sitting down.
95 is fuck. That's a
Dog's
big
huge.
dog.
He's big. No, he's big.
he's a wolf.
Yeah, he's a wolf.
What color is
He
he?
took a video of him.
Oh, okay.
It was just a
Oh,
picture.
there you go. Yeah, because I'm next to him, right?
Now, is seizures a common thing in this breed?
It's common in a lot of dogs that people just don't talk about it. They either have no idea that their dog's having them, and they just consider them.
And we're not talking like my dog's dreaming it's chasing something. It's
No, but you could have like small little tremors, and it could still be a seizure. It's very crazy once you start to realize it. Like the pharmacy in town.
yeah.
He's a big boy.
So cute.
The pharmacy in
Awesome.
town has a lot of dogs. On Keppra is one of the more lighter anticonvulsants that they'll give dogs, and it's all human grade medicine. So Kepra's
Can we
like the one
take
that
one?
you want to start on because it's super. What do you say? Can
Can you take one?
You can. My mom accidentally fucking took one.
I'm curious. It might be like a cognitive enhancer or something.
I don't know. I don't think
I'm
they should
so
do it.
sharp. A seizure couldn't fuck with me. Right?
Yeah, it's not wrong, but I think it'll make you really tired.
See,
Yeah, it might.
it's weird because normally to prevent seizures, they give you things like blood thinners, like heparin or.
I was about
Yeah.
to say, what is its actual mechanism?
Well, like the mechanism of like a seizure or the drug.
The drug.
I don't know the mechanism of the drug, but like a seizure is like when all your neurons start firing in similar patterns, and
Right.
it's like rocking on a boat. And once these things rock so much in synchrony in like one direction, that's when like the lights go out and you hit the ground and start shaking.
Your brain punches you back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in pharma, like what is the next?
I have no idea. I would think it'd be like some sort of like electrochemical kind of thing.
It balances out. So he was on Kepra. Kepra's more one of
I'll
the
look it
lighter
up while we're
ones.
talking.
Yeah, look up Kepra. And then they either wanted to put him on because he was still having seizures. They either wanted to put him on phenobarbital or they wanted to put him on potassium bromide. And
Isn't phenobarbital like the truth serum?
Yeah, that's what I thought it was.
no,
It's a
not that I know.
Is that a barbiturate type?
It's something. It's
I thought that was the
used
stuff they
No, I
give you
think that's
before you
sodium
take
penta-
like a
Penta-
torture
penta-
technique,
I
right?
think I know. I think
Oh,
that's
yeah, the sodium pen. Yeah, you're right.
All right.
Penta or something like that.
Never mind.
Yeah. So I can't help anybody here. If
I
you guys
got
have any
I got
research.
excited.
I don't have any at the house.
I got excited. You had truth
yeah.
Joey's
serum.
not even talking about interrogating people. He just wants to see what kind of high it gets you.
He's just interested.
I think it's gonna give you a down. I don't think it's an upper.
I gotta find out. Just give me. Wait, it's a racetam.
Oh, so it is. It is.
It
it's
could
a
be
nootropic.
cognitive enhancing.
Really?
Huzzah!
Like paracetam, antiracetam. I guess similar to like modafinil.
It's lever
things like
racetam.
that.
Now he's
is
gonna
what it
try
is.
and find
So it's a
somewhere
nootropic?
botanical.
Apparently.
So it can make you sleepy, dizzy, feeling tired, and aggression.
Yeah, but that's every medicine on earth.
Severe side effects might be psychosis, allergic reactions, or
It
suicide,
does get a little crazy sometimes.
or even anaphylaxis, which is kind of like it's not helping.
You gotta remember it's human grade medicine.
Is it expensive?
It's not cheap. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it's
not
gonna
cheap.
suck.
So basically, what happens is he started on the Kepra, and then we gave him one pill in the morning, one pill at night, every 12 hours, because it's an extended release. So if you miss that window, some dogs, if they miss it by 5 minutes, they can actually have a seizure because their body is so reliant on right when the dose is done, the next one gets absorbed.
That makes sense.
Because it's extended release and it
Yeah.
absorbs quicker. He can't chew them either. If he chews them, it absorbs too quickly. And it'll like I guess the half life. It'll
So
drop
how do you
off quicker.
deliver it?
I jam it right down his throat. He actually just sits there. He doesn't even give a shit.
You don't even use any
He's
peanut
used to it
butter.
by now.
Nope. Can't chew it.
Okay.
Can't chew it.
Yeah, so you put it in, close the mouth.
No, you have to close his mouth.
No?
I literally just
You
open his mouth. I'd go boop right in the bag, and he swallows it. That's it.
How long have you been doing this to your dog?
Since he was 2, he'll be 5 in December.
Okay, so he's on board.
Oh yeah,
It's gotta be.
He has no choice. He has no fucking choice.
It's something he asks
He's got no
for
fucking
consent.
choice.
It's like, oh, this shit again.
Yeah. No. So basically, to sum it up, basically he was still having the seizures on the Kepra, so we put him on potassium bromide, and that's more, to my knowledge, of what my vet told me. He could be wrong, but that's more of like balance out the electrolytes and I guess all that in the brain,
I guess that
whatever.
that does make sense if they get dehydrated.
Yep. And I found that when he doesn't eat enough, he was having more episodes. So now that his eating is regular with the
You gotta
pills,
give that dog liquid IV or some shit.
Well, what's
bro, it's
actually?
like he's got the most complicated instruction manual.
But does
It's
he?
insane.
Does he eat raw still?
He eats raw.
So that's probably why that happened, because from the raw food they
Going through
get
him too
more
quickly.
hydrated. So
Oh, he
like,
gets more hydrated.
for instance, like Nova doesn't drink water ever.
No, he drinks water. He's,
Like she literally never
glutton.
drinks water unless she goes out and she plays for an extended period of time because she gets it all from the raw
and
food.
he basically dips his whole face in the water and then just like mops it around the house.
You got to
It's awesome.
teach him to do the rag
I
trick.
can't.
Oh.
He's 5 years old now. It's at
That's
this
true.
point. He's just,
Old dog, no new tricks.
he should know. He should know by now.
It's also
I
it's
told
a
him, like,
very temperamental breed too, so they're harder to like. That dog just walks.
so they
around.
actually have a tablet that disintegrates in the mouth
What?
But he needs a timer.
for humans. For humans, yeah. But the
really
mechanism
wants
of this is unknown, which is like shocking. Like, there's not many drugs where like the exact mechanism is unknown, but we prescribe.
So
it
there's
to-
no MOA on
it's
there at
it's
all?
it's the 101st most prescribed drug in 2021, but they don't know how it works. Now, modafinil is another one like that. It's like we don't know how it works, but we give it to a lot of
I
people.
love modafinil.
I mean,
It's. I mean, this stuff is crazy. I mean, the medicine, the avenues and channels that you can go down to get your dog, and it's all dosages of just trying things out. It's
Have you
crazy.
thought about giving your dog CBD for a seizure?
I have.
There's a lot of people who are like, "Oh, I just give my dog
CBD for a while, and not that didn't see a
didn't do
difference,
shit.
but it just I didn't see anything that it was like stopping it. So that's why we put him.
You
on
would
the
have
second
to like.
medicine.
I would have to give just to calm Nova down even a little bit. I would used to give her like 5 of those treats. This dog is twice the size. So
5 CBD treats.
yeah, I don't remember the actual.
It's-
It's
I
probably
mean,
New Leaf or
Who knows what the QAQC? Well, I mean, if you got it from New Leaf,
His-
I think it was New Leaf. I don't remember. It was
New
forever
Leaf is
ago.
good. New Leaf is
Yeah.
good. Yeah. Charlotte's Web. That's another good company.
Charlotte's Web was great.
But
for
you
dogs.
and Lazarus Naturals, I think, is the other one. So I've tried. I have tried.
Charlotte's Web is super legit.
Yeah, I have tried a lot of them.
yeah,
So-
they do Charlotte's Web at the canine shop.
But you just want to figure out the frequency and get them down, because the more that they're going to have, the more often they'll have them.
And you've got to give this to your dog every 12
Every
hours.
12 hours, I'm landlocked to the house.
Wow.
Probably.
It's
So what do you
tough.
do when you
It's
travel?
Okay. It's all right. I literally live up the block. It's okay.
What happens when you travel though? Because you travel a lot
my
for.
mom's got a
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
yeah.
What does she think of doing it? Does she bitch about it?
She's on board. She loves the dog. She really has. Without her, I'd be fucked. Like royally. 'Cause
Jared, do you have a dog?
Tyler.
Oh, yeah.
Tyler tried to give him this pill.
Oh, dude.
That
Yeah, someone who's not in the family is.
He loves
is gonna
Tyler
be-
though. He grew up around him with COVID.
But still.
Tyler's one of the only people that can grab his head and he's totally fine.
Yeah.
But he does have that point with Tyler where he's like, all right, enough's enough.
Yeah, like
So
you're not
anyway,
that
so
close. But
I was in Wisconsin. I was shooting for Rain at the CrossFit Games, and so when I was out there,
Shit, I was there.
I fucking play that, man.
Oh, you were there. I remember seeing
Are you,
pictures.
are you going this year?
Not to
We're
my
not shooting
knowledge.
with Rain,
I mean, not with Rain, but
Yeah.
maybe somebody else. I have no idea.
Yeah.
But anyway, so my mom couldn't give him the pill, and we were kind of like shit out of luck. So the only other person we were thinking of is Tyler, because he loves Tyler. So Tyler comes over. The night before, I'm already away. Comes over the night before. My mom shows him. She's like, all right, this is how you do it, this and that. And she gave him one pill, and he did it, and Kenji was totally fine.
Yeah.
Great. Tyler comes over the next night by himself.
That's
Or-
probably why.
Not
Totally
having
fine
it.
though. He was hanging out with Tyler. Was happy that he was at my mom's house. This and that. Then he FaceTimes me. He goes, "All right, bro." He's like, "I'm gonna give him the pills now." And I went, "Okay." Like I take a deep breath. I'm like, "Oh, we got to get these fucking pills down, man." So he's giving it to him, and I see he's doing it slow. He's not.
He's hesitant.
He's not. Yeah, he's not.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
Kenji can tell, bro.
He was
He's
like
like a
afraid of
fucking
Nova.
All right,
shark,
all right.
bro.
Do
He
you
just,
have to like dart it down his
No. You almost have to have like the technique. You see this finger movement? You see that? You almost have to have the technique
like
of just like
place it.
opening it and
You
just like
place
putting
it
it right
on
in
the
the back
back
of
of
the
the
throat
stomach.
and just letting it go. Like just letting
See,
it go.
it's so
Tyler's like
weird.
putting it in and like closing his mouth. I go, dude, he's not gonna take it.
Give him
Gets the
anxiety.
first one down. Second one,
Well, there's two.
oh, it's 3.
Oh my God.
Second one,
This dog's
Ready?
poor liver.
dude. Second one. Well, this is Kepper's.
Are these all the same pill?
Yeah,
3 of them?
yeah.
Fuck!
1,500 milligrams.
No.
So,
God.
So
I'd be.
then-
There's a Texan.
They're 500.
There's a way we do dogs in Texas, you know.
Peanut butter and a tortilla.
No, I mean dogs you don't want anymore.
Oh, it's so fucked up, dude.
Yeah, goddamn.
Jesus. You can never watch my dog. Ever.
I'm never sending him to Texas.
My Frenchie would have lasted a week and a half with you.
Oh, I'm a dog lover. I'm just saying, like when you
Yeah,
live
but my
out,
Frenchie is costing
when you
like
live out in the
20 grand,
country,
like-
that's different. That's
Yeah.
different. And you have like a designer. So do I. I have like a designer dog.
Hey, sir.
But like if you
Ja-
live
like
out
a
in the
Japanese
country,
Rottweiler.
lots of dogs come around. You know what I mean? And sometimes you just gotta get rid of them. You know what I mean? Like
True.
especially out in the country, it's like a stray cat or something like that.
well, I'm gonna be honest.
Wait,
with you.
wait,
I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm heavily invested.
Get rid of
I'm
them. You mean like
Yeah, me
take
too.
them out
I'm
back?
heavily
Or
invested.
No,
send them on their way.
just send them on their way.
Send them off to
I've
college.
never taken them out back. I never done it to
Jesus.
a dog.
Can't do it.
Yeah, but that's how
I'd never
dogs
be able to
show
do it.
up at other people's house.
Exactly.
Hey, what someone else do with it?
And then you end up with puppies. And then that's just
My dad's was
Circle
like
of life.
basically like an adoption clinic because he lives out in the country and they just show up at his house all the time for that
It-
very reason.
I would be like that.
either they
You're
show
never
up.
catch me putting a dog.
He's
down
got 10
unless I have
acres.
to.
You get random dogs that'll show up to your house, or you'll have a dog that gets eaten by coyotes, and you're like, why couldn't the fucking random dog who showed
So-
up?
Kenji would fuck a coyote up.
For sure.
Oh.
Yeah, Kenji.
Oh yeah, no, he's no joke. Yeah.
My Frenchie would get fucked up.
They hunt
My
bears in
Pitbull
Japan.
would.
That's pretty
destroy
cool.
coyotes.
What kind of bears? Panda?
But I will.
no, Yizu
Panda?
bears. They're called. They're smaller.
I didn't know Japan had bears.
Yep, Yizu bears.
Okay.
You've never seen the little orange and white bears from China?
You're thinking of a red panda.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah,
okay. You're right.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
what I'm
not a
thinking.
fucking
yeah,
bear.
Yeah.
That is not a bear.
Right, pandas aren't bears.
I've got to figure this out. Japanese fucking bears?
Yizo bears. Yezo. So anyway, so hold on 1 second. So,
I watch a lot of Planet Earth.
well,
does.
you have
I mean,
not
I've
seen that episode.
never heard of this.
Yizo bear. Yep.
I'm not sure that was an episode.
I don't think it was.
They got nasty claws.
I mean, most bears do.
Well, it's
Yeah,
Japan.
but those are like those like
Where they have to combat
they
with
look
like
extra
samurai
stick
swords.
fingerly.
He does watch a lot of Planet Earth.
So do I,
Look,
honestly.
he's amazed right now. Look at him.
It is referred to as the black grizzly. Get the fuck out of here.
I got you, bro.
Fucking bears are everywhere.
Teaching you. Fuck bears. I don't like them. So anyway, so Tyler goes to give the second pill and he can't get it down. Kenji keeps spitting it out for like 30 seconds and then finally
But he wasn't getting like aggressive with him.
Kenji spits the pill out, I watched it.
And just
looks
growls
him
at him?
dead in the eye, shows him his teeth, growls, and just walks out of the room.
Yeah, like-
Tyler just goes, I don't want to touch the dog. And I go,
Yeah.
oh yeah, don't touch him. He'll fuck you up.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
don't
yeah.
touch him. So my mom had to drive.
Could you imagine having to board your dog and
Man, he's-
that poor
No,
person?
it'd be
He's not
impossible.
he's intact. He's got his balls.
Oh.
We're gonna breed him until he started having the seizures.
Oh man.
So I can't even board him.
And
So
also,
you're
I
gonna
don't
cut
give
his
him- I don't
balls
give him-
off then, or what?
Nah, man, why put him through an unnecessary surgery? He's chilling. My man keeps those nuts.
you know what's
Okay.
crazy?
Unless he gets testicular cancer or something like that. Like, bro, we'll chop him off at that point. But like, my man's keeping him. He's hanging out.
I
Literally.
eat sushi all the time.
Go on.
Like I've literally sorry.
Go on.
I can't stop because I've genuinely never seen
sushi
anyone
burrito?
order a sushi burrito. Like I thought
Have
it
you
was
never
just
seen it because no one's ordered it, or you've never seen it on a menu?
well, I feel like
This
we
thing's
no, I've
falling
seen it
apart.
on menus, but
This
like,
is my first one.
really
And are you enjoying it?
I'm having a good time.
okay. All right.
he has not eaten
Nasty,
anything
but-
today.
I love sushi. Like I'm genuinely like
Yeah.
you eat sushi a decent amount too, right?
on, man.
Yeah. I feel like Long
I probably
Island,
have
there's,
mercury
like,
poisoning. I don't even know.
I
It yet.
probably do too. I've just never actually seen anyone order. I just feel like it's a thing in movies.
So here's the thing about Joey. Whenever you go anywhere to eat with him, he's always going to order the thing that no one else was going to order.
But that's kind
I
of
heard
cool,
that about
because then
you.
you can
Yeah.
try it.
And I'll like alter it.
He's like, you go to like a Mexican restaurant and everyone gets enchiladas. He's like, do y'all have like a chicken pot pie? Like Joey's like the one that gets
Chicken
the
pot
weird
pie.
thing on the menu.
Yeah.
Because he just like, I think you like the novelty of it.
So I like that.
I
too.
also like seeing the people's reaction. They're like, "You're gonna eat that here?"
Yeah, why not? And I'm
Like,
and I'm
don't
not
put it
gonna
on the
use-
fucking
and I'm
menu.
not going to use silverware, and I'm going to get my whole face in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how it is.
It's always a fun topic when you're eating out with Joey.
What's the craziest thing you've eaten out?
Oh, geez. No, that was such a layup.
Right over there.
That was such a, I was gonna say, that's such a layup. I didn't want to say it because it's your wife. Like, that was so easy. It was so easy.
Liz, you are a little crazy. Liz, you are a little crazy.
So did you ever see their engagement photo?
No. Truth be told, I don't know you.
It's on
until-
Blair's story.
Yeah. So that's where I just saw it again. But I talked to her and she had told me that she was doing it before she before he proposed. They did it during the eclipse and you could see the eclipse in it.
Oh, sick.
Sick.
That's dope.
Yeah.
Let me see.
I'll show you. What is that, by the way?
It blocks the SD card. I don't want to lose
I've been
it.
playing with it the whole
I
time.
know. I lose shit all the time in here. It's my office. I still lose shit in here.
He's really big into astrology. You should let him read your chart.
Oh my God. Are we gonna do that? I mean, I guess we
Read
could.
my chart.
Do we
That's
want?
gangster.
Yeah.
That's gangster.
We could take a break. You can go do the pill thing.
We could take a break, or I could keep you guys roll. If you want to take a break, we could take.
No, we'll take a break. We'll come back and then we'll read your chart.
Okay.
All right, cool.
Cool. We'll be back.
And we're back. There we go.
Here we are.
Puppy has been pilled. You saw.
Yeah.
We have the recording. We'll have that on the.
So we screen recorded you fisting your dog's throat.
Be like that sometimes.
I'm just saying.
Sometimes to keep a puppy safe, you got to fist its throat.
You do just go like yoink.
He is such a good sport
Oh,
about
he just
it.
chills. Yeah, he's like, all right, cool, fuck it.
I know you were saying it, but you went deep.
Oh, yeah, you have to.
You were in there.
You have to. Otherwise, he's got. Listen, man. Pause. No diddy. He's got. He's got a strong tongue. Pause. Pause. He does. He spits the pills right out.
Okay.
But you just you go all the way in there. You just
Yep.
lay it. Just lay it in there deep.
Now you got, like I told you, you got to hit that little pincer technique.
Oh wait, there's a little flick on it.
Just not a little flick, but just a little like boop. See that? See my fingers just go boop. Just like extension. It's like a gymnast hitting the fucking final. You know what it is.
You got it
That's a
down.
good way to do it.
Yeah.
Man. So puppy is pilled. He's fed, and I have to see. Like I got the medication reminder on my phone. I have like 4 different apps that yell at me. So on the other phone, this phone.
So you'll know in another 12 hours.
I mean, you become so accustomed to it that at 8 a.m. and I'm trying to change his pill timing actually, but at 8 a.m. and 8 p.m. like that's your first and only thought is like,
Yeah.
where's the dog? My mom's giving it the pill. Like, how close am I to the house if I'm not close enough right this
You
second?
never sleep in, do you?
No, his ass gets me up at like 5:36 in the morning, and then we're up.
I still sleep in, and I have a 5-month-old.
Yeah, me too.
No, I do not. I'm actually going to change his pills. Truthfully, I'm going to change his pills from 8 to 8 to 6 to 6. That morning is going to suck.
Jesus.
However,
No,
think
sir.
about how much better that is at night, though. I can't do shit after at 8 o'clock. It's like
True.
smack dab into when you
Prime
be at
time.
dinner or
Yeah, that's
someone-
true.
So 6 o'clock at least you give it to him, and then you could just dip. You could just be out.
Man.
You should 3D print a pill fister.
Pill fister.
I'm just saying. You gotta
Oh man, we're hitting another
do it
market
right there.
now.
I mean, if you have yourself a nice little TV infomercial and you sell those things for $19.95,
Easily.
but if you call now, you can get 2 pill fisters for the price of one.
And wait,
like
there's
you're gonna
more.
love-
Wait, there's more. It doesn't just fist your dog's throat.
Fist other things too.
And look at all the other items that you can fist. And
This
it
got
cuts
so
out.
much unhinged right away.
Usually does.
Yeah, it'd be like that.
That's awesome.
All right. Well, we had some questions that we were going to ask you about your story a little bit. I know we were going crazy, but I just want to know what it's like, kind of like the whole Ryse dynamic when you were working there. So, like, obviously, you're working with Nick, who's somewhat of a polarizing character. I don't know him personally, but you hear all these stories and stuff all the time, and there's all these beefs and stuff that go on. So you're kind of just wondering, like, what's it actually like working with like a person that has this polarizing, and like how did that dynamic work with you?
So I met Nick before we worked together. So we had like a friendly relationship. Like, I wouldn't say we were friends, but we talked. We would,
Where'd you meet him?
he knew Justin, the designer that I was talking about earlier. And I don't remember why, but I ended up walking into Justin's office and he was on FaceTime.
Oh,
with him.
okay.
So we started talking, and then he was like giving me advice on just some like content stuff and whatnot, because he came from a digital marketing background
Ah,
at Shreds.
okay.
Right. So, yeah, he is polarizing. And what I'll say is,
I don't really understand why.
so he is extremely, I would say, protective of his efforts. And a lot of times that might come off as like egotistical and whatnot. And there's a healthy amount of ego there. I have it also in my own things or whatever. I loved working with him. I really did. He definitely works his balls off. Even when I was down in Dallas, we would go home. The one thing I will say about him, incredible father, great family man. So even when we were at the office or whatever, he'd always go home, have dinner with the family. We walked around they lived in like a residential development, always take the kids for walks or whatever. Then we would go right back to the office.
Yeah.
Just because it was in just a massive, massive growth phase and there was no one there. I mean, it was really just me and him, I would say, for a little while running the company. Mostly him, obviously. He would do everything, but I would do all the wholesale sales and I was handling that whole thing. Now it's massive. Now they have a ton of employees.
Departmentalized and
Oh yeah, and they also brought in a COO over there who's extremely well versed at that portion of it, and I'm sure he's made things a little more organizationally sound and whatnot. But
have to
I
that way.
it's insane because I feel like I jumped in and kind of watched exactly like how their like explosion happened all at once. So, which was a couple things.
You made a name for yourself during that whole time.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's definitely nice to have on my resume. I wasn't like any reason why it blew up, but it's also nice, like, getting the experience that I got dealing with Vitamin Shop, going to Vitamin Shop meetings, dealing with licensing companies and doing those type of presentations, getting to see how it's insane to just watch The Office because it's just content 24/7.
Right.
It's just content.
Yeah.
Everything in that company is based around content, which gets frustrating for someone who's in sales or when we're trying to like put together presentations or design work and stuff. And that's always been my beef with content is like, number one, I'm a perfectionist, so I would like things to be like high production value.
Oh, yeah.
Scripted to an extent or whatever, which doesn't work for content.
No.
They script everything, but they just like, it was such an incredible, like, just team of young kids and influencers and stuff. And he, that's the one thing I'll say, man, he built something massive with a lot less than anyone else has ever had to do, a brand like that and quicker. So, but it was good. I mean, I really like, everyone's got their problems with him, whether they think he's like an outs, because he didn't come from anywhere else, right? Like he wasn't really with any other brands. He didn't have like a long history in the industry, but he came in and shit on everyone
Yeah.
with a brand. And it's not like he shit on, people with a brand that had trash products and was relying on illegal ingredients. Like, it was at one of the top manufacturers in the world. Now it's at two of the top manufacturers in the world. The formulas were good. Some of them daily drivers, some of them absolute kitchen sink. The labels were awesome. The content is awesome. It's like, it's a mix of a bunch of things, and they created a huge community.
Yeah. Winning formula.
Oh yeah.
So you see your way out, for whatever reason.
I can tell you the reason.
Okay.
Tilt that mic up. It's in your chest. I was looking.
So I knew.
Oh my god.
So the real reason.
I'm just trying to keep it out of my face because I know if I have it here, it's just going to be.
Yeah. No.
Sorry, guys. Sorry.
So the real reason I left was I knew that I was going to have to go down to Dallas, obviously, to make it work. I was the number 2 in the company.
What's wrong with Dallas?
Nothing. I was getting.
There's plenty wrong with Dallas. What are you talking?
Yeah. So I had just proposed. I proposed while I was obviously, while I was at Ryse. I knew we were going to be getting married within like a year and a half. And I knew the company was growing too fast where I was going to have to make that change a lot sooner than I would have planned on it. My wife is extremely close with her family. We knew we wanted to have kids pretty short after, getting married.
You're not going to give up free babysitting.
And that's a huge. Having a 5-month-old now, I realize how incredibly stressful that would have been while also being with a company like Ryse, which is stressful in and of itself.
Yeah.
Right. So, and I knew also like I could have talked him into staying remote for a little bit longer, but it would have been a disservice to Ryse at that point, obviously. So, I knew I had a way out with equity, and I knew that I wanted to, either go to another brand or start my own thing. So I decided to start my own thing, and I kind of said, let's go 18 to 24 months. I won't pay myself. I'll just reinvest everything back into the brand. Started the company, and 2 months later we got pregnant, and I was like, fuck. So
this has to work.
Now it's like,
you know what you did.
Yeah. So no, but it's just, with that changed a lot of things because I was comfortable, right? I was comfortable. I got a pretty decent buyout. Goes quicker than you think. Invested
starting a brand too.
Yeah. So investing into the brand, I'm the only person who's invested money. None of my partners have equity. One of my partners is the manufacturer. My other partner, we gave a smaller percent of equity to eventually bring him on as a full-time employee. But right now he does other things. I just wanted to do cool shit with my friends.
Yeah.
So I brought two people on. So yeah, that's how it started. And like, just, I love the industry. I love building something. I love touching every piece of it. I will say the one part that sucks that I've like never did it at any other company is the finances.
Yeah.
I hate it. I love every other part of it. I love doing the, formulation.
Ask a designer to look at a spreadsheet is like.
Yeah, it sucks.
Yeah.
And I deal with spreadsheets too, doing, like sales and stuff like that.
I have to do them with my own
that
stuff. I hate it.
Financial stuff, it just sucks, dude. I fucking it'll probably be
sucks the fun out of it.
Yeah, it does.
Sucks the fun out of it.
It'll probably be my first hire as a bookkeeper because there is no employees. I do everything. Obviously, my 2 partners help a ton. One of them does all the manufacturing. We shoot ideas around 24/7 all day long. So, I just wanted to create something cool. I didn't want to take the brand too seriously. Obviously, it's a consumable that people put in their body, so you have to take a percentage of it seriously. But
the branding.
Yeah, the branding.
Yeah.
And just the overall, when we start bringing on athletes and community and stuff, it's not going to be your typical, go to a hardcore gym and shoot that style of content. It's going to be more fun lifestyle content and things like that. I just, I think that's trending right now. It's fun. It's more relatable to people. And it's also like, you don't have to be a hardcore bodybuilder to consume. Most of them aren't.
Not
consume
anymore,
our products, right?
Yeah.
So
what's like the growth trajectory looking like? Like what's sort of in the works? And
so we started in February of last year, and we hit all of last year's number in April.
Nice.
So it's looking good, and that's with limited SKU extension.
Right.
So we're looking into obviously a couple more things where we're launching a collaborated product next 3 weeks or so.
Oh, fun.
So that'll be fun. And then we're obviously looking to doing a protein. As you probably know, pricing sucks. And it's getting very hard at the moment to want to pull the trigger on doing that.
Let me know if you need help on that.
I might. We tested.
I know some people who know some people, and I give some deals.
Hey, I would love some deals. So all right. So here's the thing. We thought about potentially launching with a clear protein. Now, obviously, it's a trend. Whether
Super hot right now.
Yeah, it's very trendy. Whether it's going to continue to be a trend, I think this time, yes. I think Isopure got it. They're way too ahead of the market when they did it, and it also tasted like shit.
Yeah.
So we tried a lot of the Arla stuff, and it's great. And then I just think about where my brand is in the industry, and if we have a strong enough foothold to do something that I still consider is still kind of niche.
I think it needs to taste fresh.
Yeah, it needs to be extremely good, right? So, and I know we can make a regular 2-pound protein good.
If I were you, I'd do all your isolates clear. And if
That's not a bad idea. And
if
then do
it's
the high
concentrates or
fresh.
blends, then you go with the milky stuff.
Yeah.
And that way you kind of have both on those different tiers.
Yeah, and then and then honestly, I like that idea. And then you keep all the fruit flavors, and you know,
You get the best of both
orange
worlds that
creamsicle
way.
and-
Yeah.
And then we do. So honestly, the blend that we were going to do is going to be. It's very simple. There's not a lot. I'm sure you disagree, but there's not a lot you can do with protein that's going to make it super different and whatnot. So
Flavor's king.
yeah. So it was gonna be
Flavor and price. If you can nail those two things, you're going to be
Isolate
in
first,
business.
concentrate, or potentially hydrolyzed, and then we wanted a digestive enzyme in there. Keep
Yeah.
the macros safe, keep the flavors good.
Minimize the farts.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
about it. Yeah.
So how do you avoid that chalky?
I mean, most of them now are not very chalky because, like,
That's all I think about when I hear that is the Isopure. Exactly what you guys said is that that bitter, like that gritty
No.
on your teeth.
it's
feeling.
gotten
worse.
better.
Like they would have like this film that would coat the entire
When
inside of
your
your
tongue
mouth.
feel like there's a hole. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
that's
It's
where
so
Isopure went
strange.
wrong.
That's a big reason why they're kind of having a reemergence is that it's gotten better.
Yeah, the systems around getting that film away have gone. Obviously, you saw
Still
when we were
really
tasting.
foamy.
Was
the
it production
Ryse.
Dude, I
side
mean,
or was
I've-
it the science side of like reformulation?
What?
Was it the production side, like how they?
Oh, it's a combination of both.
Okay.
And even the clear proteins that are still out there, they still have like their drawbacks. Like foaming is a big issue with these clear
Really
proteins.
foamy. Yeah.
Which is so strange because it's like it's just WPI. Why is this one foaming so much compared to like your other stuff?
And what is WPI?
Whey
protein
isolate.
Thank you. Yeah, I break that. Just give me the acronyms.
No,
So
I love
seeing
breaking it down
anti-foaming
like that.
ingredients now.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and they're all silicone based.
Yeah,
And
same thing as anti-caking.
well, and there's been like a demand like, well, do you have anything that's not silicone based? And it's like, okay, well,
But silicone works.
yeah, silicone works. I don't think that there's really any natural versions of that, unless you put like ground up sand in it, or using fats or something to help kind of break that up. But sometimes fats will actually help the bubbles stay there more.
Well, yeah, and then you're also like, you have to pick that line between altering taste and making, like it's.
I would just go taste. Taste is king.
I mean, listen, I used to tell this to everyone. Like, you can take a whey protein isolate, you can have all the natural flavors, you can, whatever, and you can make the best thing on earth. But as far as your physique goes, unless you're Michael Phelps, it doesn't matter.
Well, and that's like the same argument I have with like grass-fed whey. There's no fucking benefit to having grass-fed whey because like what makes grass-fed beef as good is the fat content. The fat content's got higher.
So
higher
grass-fed
omega-3s.
isolate is useless.
There's zero fat in there.
That's the point.
It's indistinguishable
Right.
from regular whey protein isolate, other than the fact that you treated the cows a little bit better.
But people don't understand that, so they love
No.
putting grass-fed on the label, and it's like, well, grass-fed doesn't increase the protein quality.
It's a buzzword.
Or it doesn't give you
Exactly.
the omega-3s that grass-fed beef does, which is
Right.
like my other part of it. It's like there needs to be like some function to it other than just, these are really nice cows.
Yeah. It's more or less just a sales proposition. It's
Oh, yeah.
like you can put an icon and you can put it on your
Makes you feel good. Gives you the warm fuzzies.
Yeah.
These are fair trade, grass-fed, non-enslaved cows. Like,
But there's like markets for that and
Well, we still killed the cow.
but then there's
They kill them nicely though.
Yeah.
Or then there's like
there's still a
what it's
consumer for it and it's large and there's a whole retailers that specifically look for those things.
there's also consumers who want their cows whipped. Bad cows.
I
I want my cows to have struggled.
want the veal. I want the veal cut of whey protein.
Yeah. They're the ones that are buying that.
I want the cows that are kept in
They're
that
the ones
closet.
that are. They're the ones that are buying the pill puncher for the throat.
Yeah, like like it's grass fed, like the wagyu of like the grass fed, or like whey
That's what
isolate.
I mean. Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder if there is something like that.
Well, but then it's also, if you think about it, like grass-fed, when you're looking at buying grass-fed beef, it's not even the grass-fed that you want to look for. It's grass-finished.
finished.
Yes.
Right? So,
Technically, yes and no. There are some people that say they could taste the difference of like.
No, you fucking
Well, I can
get
taste
butcher
the,
box.
I can
It's
taste.
like-
I can taste the difference of grass-fed finished if you're gonna tell me like grass fed finished versus grass fed, like I can't tell.
Yeah, I
two.
can never. And
But
I
you
cook
could-
steak every
but you
night of
could-
my life.
You could tell those sweatshop fucking cows though. You could tell that.
Oh yeah, like
that blend at Walmart.
No,
you know,
the-
it's a tough blend to put down.
the one and broil you get from like Key Food.
Oh man, it's like eating a fucking shoe.
Ugh.
Oh god, yeah, that one was not treated nicely.
It's interesting when you think about it because it's based on these cows' diet. Like, were they fed corn at a feedlot, or were they, grass fed, grass finished, or corn feedlot with grass finishing? And it all has to do with like the fats and how they're depositing into like the muscle and into the tissue of these animals. And there might, it's like looking at like the striations in rocks,
right?
Back in this,
or the rings and trees.
Yeah, back in this era, you can see here they were fed corn, but over here you can see they were fed grass, and you get like this
way to think about it.
You get like this blend of different fats from the combination. If you have like grass finished, where it's like grass fed, it does taste different, and I don't think it necessarily tastes better because like sometimes you get like those feedlot cows that have had corn their whole life, and you're like, this cow kind of tastes a little bit like corn.
Yeah.
Like this is like, what am I like eating tortilla chips and beef fajitas here?
Well, first of all, not all, like, no cows are just fed corn their whole life.
No.
They go to a finished lot, and then they have like a molasses corn and like
Yeah,
protein and some sort of like.
Talk to me, Texas.
Yeah, here it comes.
Like I have no dog in this fight or cow in this fight.
Give me the info.
We happen to do a lot of like filming and shooting for like ranch.
Beef cows.
Cool.
The biggest ranch.
Oh, you know what I did? I saw you post.
Have you ever worked with Force of Nature?
No, we're doing a documentary with the King Ranch, which is the largest ranch in the world.
Sick.
That's you just posted that recently, right?
It's gangster.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Where we're actually some of the only people that have actually been able to be within their feed.
So tell us about the finishing feed. I'm interested in this personally.
Well, I can't really because some of it's
For project.
Watch the documentary when it comes out.
No, not just that, but it's like there's what people think what it is,
And what you don't want to hear.
and it's not really bad at all. It's just optics on what people think about their.
Well, I mean, if the cow's having some molasses at the end of its life, I think that actually would probably be in a really nice addition to the corn
feed itself
layer.
is not that bad. Like the feed, it's good, but they do like add other things into it to beef them up so they scale out more.
Yeah.
But when
Creates
you're talking about
hormones.
that meat that you get from a certain store, blah blah blah, it's no different. The cows don't like the cow economy is not like
blow the lid off this thing. Go ahead.
Like Upton Sinclair's
it's just
Jungle.
based on grade. So that's just a low grade.
Yeah.
So that same poor beef could have came from a
top of the
a
line
ranch that also has a grade A or prime or whatever like that. That would just happen to be a low grade beef, and it went to that category and sold for less.
Don't give him the Inferno. He'll sweat.
Oh no, I'm definitely not that.
Don't give him the Inferno.
So yeah, there's just
It's supposed to spike your metabolism. I don't think.
we only have like 3 ranking systems here in the
buzzwords.
US for
Beef?
For beef.
Thank you, sir.
Whereas in
Storm?
Asia they have a very very dynamic ranking system.
Yeah.
Well,
What do you mean by dynamic?
Well, like how there's like diamonds and there's like levels for certain diamonds.
And turds?
Yellow.
It goes from diamonds all the way down to turds in China.
Yeah, well, like you get VVS, VS, FS.
Right. Yeah. That's how they have it in cattle
As someone who's I'm not good at it anymore, and I'm gonna start again basically tomorrow. But I'm like mostly carnivore, and it's speaking of that. If you guys are hungry after this and you want steak and you whatever, there's IMC.
we might.
Delicious.
So good. They actually own their own butcher in Brooklyn, so it's like 5-star steakhouse quality at like a 3-star cost.
It's not that bad.
incredible.
And they have the crispy tuna.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, crispy tuna and the
Let's do it.
But what I was going to say is I really
Inferno,
get
that's the
annoyed now when I see American Wagyu. There's no such thing. There's only Japanese Wagyu because you can't really label a cow a Wagyu cow unless it comes from Kobe, Japan.
Actually, Wagyu is a breed of cow.
Right. But it comes from that specific, I guess the way that they do it, like A5, right?
A5 is the category that's
only
based off
comes
of the
from Kobe,
marbling.
right?
Yeah. Well, it's just really fat content.
Yeah.
So
Which makes it like melt in your mouth,
yeah, like Wagyu is the same thing as like Angus here. You know what Angus beef is here, but like that's what a lot of the beef is. But really, they come from Hereford, they come from Santa Gertrude.
Yeah.
They come from all different types of breeds. Y'all just know of Angus because they've done a better job of marketing that particular type of breed.
Which that's
doesn't
why I think,
taste
the
any
Wagyu's
different.
getting, just played out.
It's based off of fat content and marbling. That's
Right.
really what the grade is. That's what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
So if it's cheaper beef, it just has a lower grade. That particular cow could have just been a
Been
shitty
the
cow.
run to the lot.
Yeah, and usually they cull those out and they try and get these branches. What they're trying to do is they're constantly trying to develop their genetics so that they
What do you
have.
mean by cull?
Yeah, that's a creative term.
Well, have you ever heard like when they castrate cows?
Well, yeah, of course.
Yeah, so that's what you eat. Those are basically a lot of times those are cold cows. Like at a certain age, when it's like a year after they get culled out, they remove them from the herd because they don't want to breed them back into it.
Well,
That's
yeah,
what
but
goes to the feedlot.
I'm wondering, like the culled ones. I mean, obviously, do they just go straight to slaughter,
No,
or
they go to the feedlot to go get fat.
so they go to the feedlots?
They become dinner.
Oh yeah. But I'd be like, this is opposed to the daddy cows.
The bulls,
Yes,
they're there to just breed.
which is another niche industry in
Yeah.
the beef.
So our partners with Core Culture, they're big into the cattle ranching. That's what got us into all this. But they breed specifically for genetics. So
they breed. They're like dog. Yeah, exactly.
they sell their cows. They sell semen.
That can't believe that's going to be the clip.
This is so. I was talking about this yesterday. I was like, this is some
Is that why
job.
you guys pick those cylindrical bottles?
No,
This was masturbating a cow.
Yeah,
Okay,
I understand.
all right, so I'm just making sure.
they don't actually do that. They have like a whole device they mount, and then they like
A fleshlight for cows.
pretty much.
Basically, yeah. I saw it on Jackass.
Yeah.
He just pulled it away.
But it's actually it's a lot. It's more. You would love it because it's actually very high tech. Like the testing we do in supplements is nothing compared to the.
I wonder what the
testing they do now.
QAQC is like. We did
I thought you
10
like,
years
you
of
would love the
research finding
jerk
out
off
how
cow
to
machine.
make
I would love that too.
how to make the perfect fleshlight for a cow.
He's got great arm dexterity.
I mean, well, I also made up a word when I was at dinner with like her dad, and I was like, because they were talking about how they would have these Mexicans that would come out to the ranch, and they would cull and castrate all the cows, and I mean like, I said, you mean to tell me there's some wild bandit cajoneros out there?
Cajoneros? That's awesome.
The cowboys who take the cow's balls. That's what it would translate to roughly. So obviously this had to be someone's job at some point in time.
Yeah.
Oh,
Had to be
before the technology for sure.
Well, even now, they
But like, what kind of research went into developing like the fleshlight for bulls? Like,
you know how they check if they're pregnant or not, right?
Yeah, they have to stick it all the way in.
They stick their arm up their ass,
yeah, up their ass or in,
the vagina. Yeah.
yeah.
Well, like we built rockets and shit. They didn't develop something else.
It's the best way to do it. It's the fastest, most efficient way to do it. And these
I
guys,
find that hard to believe, and there
One
might
arm's
be
in the
something,
cow, the other one
like a fetish
he
there
licked his
somewhere.
finger. Oh God.
feel for the wind, and you're like,
Oh.
yes.
He's throwing grass
they
up in
do
the
they
air.
do
Yep.
have like X-ray machines where you
You'd
can
be
you
good
can
at that.
scan
We
that
just
stuff.
watched you give Kenji medicine.
Fuck. Staying far away from ranches for a while now.
Yeah.
I don't want there to be any misconceptions now. If somebody sees me with a story on a ranch, and be like, "Wait, I heard that podcast."
We need to
Guy's
get you out
got
on that
God-given
goddamn-
talent.
That guy's the cow jelker. Just fucking getting these bulls off.
Oh, dude, it's awesome.
Think of your contribution to science.
No, I'm gonna leave that to somebody else. Yeah, you had great technique. I saw that. That was monstrous. Monstrous technique. I would be horrible. I would be horrible.
Yeah, your arm's too short anyway.
Yeah, Rex arms. You don't want that.
He's going straight it to the delt.
Yeah, you don't want that.
And the bicep just way too big.
Yeah, sorry. We're just not gonna get any clearance.
Incredible.
Yeah, but I think they do it mostly for speed
Mostly for
and, and accuracy. It's faster and more accurate.
There's no way to calibrate what a human just knows intuitively in that particular.
And these
realm.
ranchers are old school. They're just like, why would I spend extra money on this equipment and spend more time when I
You'll
can
spend more money on a fucking flashlight than you will for a thermometer that goes inside of a cow's vagina.
dude, some of these machines are like thousands and thousands of dollars.
I believe it. This is a huge industry.
And then you have to teach a rancher to operate it.
God, what a job!
Yeah.
Now, what's funny about making obscure machinery like that is when I was selling home theater equipment, this is pivoting completely in the opposite way.
That's fine. It's
Yeah,
weird.
I'm getting off a cow cock.
Yeah.
So I'm getting off a bull cock.
You're
Cow
full of
cock.
them tonight, man.
Yeah, man. I'm just we out here. I always found that some of the richest individuals were always the ones that made the most obscure, random piece for an industry that you wouldn't even think about.
Yeah.
Like one of the biggest houses I was ever in was a dude who made the brake line for helicopters in that sold to Sikorsky up in Connecticut. Whoever made all the military grade air helicopters and whatnot. Fucking loaded.
The brake line?
It was something like the brake line and
It slows down the prop.
Yeah.
No. For the I guess I don't even fucking know. But it was just brake lines for the helicopter, and that was it. And it just had the fattest house.
A brake line would mean brake fluid.
Well, we all know that anything that has
I mean, you got to
anything
slow
to
down
do
that
with,
prop
like,
And then
somehow.
they're not going to roll, so there's no tires to stop.
if it's military industrial complex, they just inflate the fuck out of that because government's paying.
Well, because it's because government's going to pay for
Well,
it.
just think of how crazy that was. It's just like, yeah, I'm just gonna create. Whoever founded that is just like,
Just
yeah,
like, how do you-
there's an in here because it's obviously not the same company that makes the entire helicopter.
No.
They're
Oh,
no.
sourcing from
Yeah.
different companies. So it's like I'm just gonna make this one component, and then it just makes you stupid rich.
I always just think
It's
about
just
that. Like, no
like,
one,
how
no
do
one
they
like,
slow
was
that
going
down?
through school and they were like, "This is what I want to do with
that thing's going too fast.
Fall into that.
I don't know. I didn't think I'd be doing this. That's for damn sure.
Yeah, well,
I'd be doing this either.
I thought I'd be doing this.
Yeah, I thought I was like gonna play baseball or be a rock star or a drug addict.
You can still be all three of them.
I was already.
Maybe
is-
check
that
those
is
boxes.
fine.
Yeah.
I was all three of those things, and then somehow I landed here.
Nice.
Probably because of him. It's probably mostly his.
You could do this also.
All right, so do you want to get in our segments?
Yeah.
All right, so a couple of things. Eduardo suggested that we review a product, and one of those was this Rain Inferno.
Oh yeah, let's get.
No, I'm gonna hand this over here to you. I want to know. You warned me about this drink, and thank God I'm not drinking it because I'd be having a bad time. It's called Inferno.
Yeah. Evidently it is.
How does this thing?
I don't know, dude.
How does this fuck
isn't
you
this
up?
Worse? Isn't this?
I mean,
your-
yeah, but I love playing the fool card when I can.
I know you can. Well, it says thermogenic in large bold letters on the side of the can. So I assume there is some type of a thermogenic effect.
Well, something's gotta heat you
I would
up.
assume there's something with capsaicin or something, right?
Could you imagine what's the flavor on that thing?
Red.
Well, they did that one.
Red.
Red 50. You know?
Flavors are red.
We got 10 calories.
Have you had those? You've had those.
I've had these, but I mean, you know.
It says it has
Shot
citrulline.
pictures of the can.
yeah.
Ginseng extract.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm just looking for things that maybe stand out. That would be.
Could
something
you
that
shotgun the whole thing
L-carnitine.
right now?
Do they all have L-carnitine in them?
You want to he thinks we should taste test it. Do we have any cups or anything? Or are we just going to all
Just
get
grab 4.
mononucleosis?
Grab 4.
Oh, good
God.
Lord.
I'm not gonna drink the whole thing.
I'm not drinking the whole thing.
I'll have a sip. Like I'm
I run hot.
interested.
It's warm in here.
I've never been.
Oh, it's over.
Jesus Christ.
It's over. Avalanche.
Okay.
Over.
300 milligrams of natural
Oh, it literally is just
caffeine.
Red Dragon.
Yeah, just red.
Helps burn calories, accelerates metabolism.
So let's try and guess what the flavor is.
Red.
And increase
I
concentration.
would assume that it's going to be some. I mean, I've had.
Ooh,
it
I'd love
before.
Have
to.
you ever had a Big Red?
Big red.
Texas thing.
No,
It's,
I've only been to Texas once.
it's basically-
And then in September.
you've had a cream soda, yeah?
Yeah.
Is that but red?
A&W, like that type
Yeah,
of
have
soda?
you had a blue cream soda?
No.
Blue cream soda?
Yeah.
You guys do have some weird shit in Texas.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah. Actually, I mean, we have some weird
Is that
shit
like
here.
a punch? Is that what it is?
Yeah, it's
Take my gum out.
I got
it's
a
pineapple notes. It's a tropical punch.
Oh, I get pineapple just from smelling it.
Okay.
I went to go smell the fucking microphone. I'm cooked.
This is like a.
I acted like the can was still in front of me. Jesus.
I feel like they actually.
saliva.
Maybe you can't do the thing with the bulls on the ranch then.
No.
You
Dude.
accidentally.
Dude, I think
smell
we should get
something.
you out there. You'd love it.
I probably would.
Dude, yeah, it's
Just not the jerking off part.
no, you just shoot them.
You get
Not like
notes
kill
in
'em.
this?
Oh, I'll shoot videos.
This
of
is
them.
I will tell you, this is my least favorite flavor of anything. It's a flavor that we'll never
Is
do.
it, you said apple?
No, it's just fruit punch to me.
Yeah.
This is like your classic Hawaiian fruit punch, which I don't like.
I think it's great.
I love it.
Well, I don't know.
All right, so two.
I just don't like
So
fruit punch.
2 in favor, 1 not.
It might be
and
because
I guess
my
I'm the
parents
tie- I'm the-
always had Hawaiian punch.
Well, I'm just
on.
reading
that'll
it.
fuck
I'm
with
just
you.
trying to figure out what the hell it is that's thermogenic.
There's a lot of citrulline, like a surprising amount of citrulline in here.
L-carnitine.
That's what I thought. L-carnitine would be the reason, but do they all have L-carnitine?
The next highest thing is that Panax ginseng, and I don't even know where they're getting the thermogenic claim. Oh, capsicum oleo
I
resin.
did say that, right?
Yeah, so that's capsaicin.
Capsaicin, yeah.
And I thought I
capsaicin.
thought I tasted it whenever
knew it.
whenever we were drinking it, and it's got a
Gotta
little
be
green
a tiny
tea.
little bit though.
Wait a second. All
Is
right.
that why it tastes like a little
It's
bit
the
like
Spicy.
The second
It's a little
spicy.
spicy.
Yeah.
That's the Inferno.
Yeah. So the one thing, here's what I want to say because you're going to have some good input on this,
They had
and I think you're
different-
going to be on an opposite side of the spectrum with you.
They had different flavors for this too. I'm gonna look those up while you say this.
You're a Gary Brecka fan.
Yeah. So cyanocobalamine or whatever, the B12.
Can I have someone a lot smarter than me explain
be
to
him.
you why it's not like you're truly taking in cyanide?
Because the amounts are so
The dose
fucking low.
Makes the poison.
Yes.
At all times. And it's a different type of cyanide. It's not like genuine. Gary Brecka has some things that I agree with, but that one pisses me off.
He's just doing that for the views and for the clicks and everything. It's like, oh my God, B12 is poison.
Yeah, it's like,
like, give me a fucking break. Like, we're talking less than a milligram. In several cases, much, much less. Like here in this rain.
which is actually less than what the FDA would consider a poisonous dose.
Is
Like
cyanide a
way
vitamin?
less.
Now, this is 250% of the
Vitamin
daily
B12
value
is
B12,
cyanocobalamin.
So
which is like
B vitamin.
Yeah,
less than 10 micrograms.
yeah.
Because 2.4 micrograms is like the full 100% RDA. So less than 5 micrograms. We're a little over 5.
So let me ask you this as from a formulation standpoint. So I had high iron for a while. And I thought I had hemochromatosis.
Cool.
Not cool. That would mean that it was depositing in my brain and my liver. However,
Yeah.
my iron was high. I was eating a lot of red meat at the time, but I was also drinking a ton of these.
Were you on test?
No, never.
All right, just checking.
Yeah, no, I would tell you. No, never. So after doing all the research, I started donating blood. My level started coming down, but I
Yeah.
also did the genetic test for hemochromatosis just to see.
And you
I
didn't
don't
have it.
I don't have it. So my theory, which could be a stupid one because I'm not trained in it.
There's no iron in this.
No, but B12 helps with absorption of iron in the body.
It
Could it be because it's like if I'm drinking 2 of these a day at the time for an extended period of
helps
time?
you hang on to that iron?
Could it help?
Probably.
Yeah.
That's not impossible to say. And plus you're doing it at like different time points of the day. So like your B12 levels
Yeah,
are
you're
cruising
keeping
up.
the blood concentration.
And I'm eating red meat,
and then
on
you're eating
steaks,
red
and
meat,
it's just-
yeah.
and it's if this is supposed to increase the absorption of iron.
B12 is a major component of hemoglobin in general. So the idea with like taking B vitamins, it helps DNA replication and it also helps the generation of new red blood cells. So not only would your iron levels be high, like you would be like erythropoietic, which means like you're just cranking out red blood cells because you just have like the raw materials there for that'll support their existence. So yeah, you would have extra red blood cells, you would have high iron. And there are some cases, usually like it's in older people where having like too much iron can cause like auto-oxidation because it's a transition metal, so it can actually help free radicals damage your cells.
Yep.
But yeah,
We go back to talking about cows.
the cow conversation.
Cowcocks are piquing your interest.
I've had to explain like to a couple of people like over the last few days, like it's more like what I do is like more than just like the formulation of it, because like formulation affects like sales, distribution, and marketing.
Right.
But on the back end of it is like this international global trade going on, agriculture, and all these other different things.
Which is
And like,
very annoying,
and the
yeah.
scientific part is not just like performance enhancing drugs and like what can happen in a gym, but it's like also what puts more meat on a cow, what puts more meat on a hog or on a chicken, because that's where the most like research is really done as far as muscle growth. It's not done in a gym.
Oh no,
It's agriculture.
yeah, it's always done in agriculture.
Well, and I was talking to a trade group the other day about like onshoring certain manufacturing capabilities because the COVID supply chain crisis, how it really fucked us and like made us aware of like we don't have shit for manufacturing,
and that's when
for drugs, anything.
Ryse was exploding, so we had to deal with that also.
Yeah.
Terrible.
Yeah, it was a wonderful
26 week lead
challenge.
time.
Everyone deals with him. That's why Joey's kind of really good at what he does.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like creatine going over like $30 a kilo. That shit
Yeah,
was
citrulline
insane.
was bad during the time. Creatine was bad. The port situation was other,
Like we ordered it at a cheap price, but it's going to be like another 8 weeks until it shows up.
Yeah.
Because, like all these boats are waiting outside.
no, it's
the
at
port.
your port. It's just not going to get offloaded for another 3 weeks.
Yeah, because like these guys are taking a long time, or there's a shitload of boats, and like
Yeah.
we've started rerouting stuff to the port of Houston because
just they
it's
had
closer.
less employees everywhere.
Yeah, there's so many factors that went into it. So apparently they're talking about onshoring the manufacturing capabilities of vitamin D. And I was like, oh, cool. Vitamin D is great. It's good for the immune system. And they're like, it's not for humans. And I was like, oh, really? Tell me more. And they're like, it's for chickens. And I was like, once again, oh, really? Tell me more.
He's a chicken guy.
Oh, I'm big into chickens. Like I went through 3 different suppliers looking for a specific like extract of chicken egg yolks, like the MyoX thing you were talking about. Nobody's doing it right. But anyway, we'll get to that later.
No, it definitely wasn't done right by MHP.
No. So
But
anyway,
it tasted really good.
chickens, for the most part, are grown in gigantic fucking chicken houses. And they don't get any sunlight. And yet they got to make eggs, and the shells are made out of calcium. And that calcium does not get to those fucking eggs unless there's vitamin D to help transport that calcium to where it needs to go. And they don't get a lot of vitamin D because they don't get a lot of sunshine. Therefore, the largest consumer of vitamin D in the United States
Is chicken.
fucking poultry farms and egg farms.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Like,
That's a clip right there.
that's fucking wild.
That's a clip right there. We're gonna blow everyone's mind.
That's actually pretty insane. It does make sense though, but it is insane.
Well, I mean, and there's like this new like creatine precursor thing that is like shown up in a couple of different pre-workouts, and there's a lot of controversy around that ingredient because there was a new dietary ingredient application that was submitted, and the FDA rejected it because it caused elevated homocysteine levels because it ate up a bunch of methyl groups when it would form creatine. So they sold it to the agricultural industries because it does boost performance, it does increase muscle growth, and it does so in a way that's comparable to creatine, where the company Alzchem that makes Creapure is selling that creatine precursor to all these different chicken companies to make larger chicken breasts. And they also have like a porcine grade and a bovine grade, and they have all these different forms
supplements
of these creatines that go out to these different, meat producers.
Making fucking loose.
Oh yeah, of course.
Of course they are. Of course they are. I mean, like, we're
Obscure shit. This is what I'm talking
And
about.
you don't have to worry about branding when you get to that level.
Well, yes, you do, because I've seen advertisements for this kind of shit for agricultural companies, and I'm like, that is the coolest fucking ad I've ever seen for a raw ingredient. They compared like tributyrin for gut health.
Yeah.
Was originally sold to the livestock industry, and there was this company that was selling tributyrin, and they were like comparing it to a race car, and they had this like race car, and they would like go to like little B-roll clips of like an engine. Way better performance, high absorption, more meat production per square inch, or whatever the fuck. And I'm just like, there was never an animal. There's never like any they did show the chemical and everything. But I was just like,
That's what Chick-fil-A's
this
doing.
is incredible.
That's that Lord's chicken.
Like, I want to go.
twice.
I want to go to those expos where it's like all of our different ingredient companies are selling to animals and farmers instead, because I bet that is they can make whatever claims they want.
Yeah. Because who's going to test them?
No one's gonna give a fuck. You think a pig's gonna complain and be like, "I didn't get the results"?
No, but on their end, they do care about those data markers. Like they do care about how those things pound out.
Sure, but there's actual research behind all that.
Right.
There's research in animals for like all these different applications, and yeah, they've got claims and stuff. But you're not gonna put that on your fucking feed bag.
No, yeah.
Yeah, it's like Tony's homegrown fucking cow feed or whatever.
That's hilarious. Yeah, it's unique.
All right, so this thing. It's that cayenne
No
pepper.
idea how how this little segment turned into chicken feed.
By the way, they have another. They used to have another flavor called Watermelon Warlord, which was the better one.
Is it still spicy like that though?
It
It
is.
has to be.
Well, it has
the
capsaicin.
capsaicin.
Yeah.
I wonder what that dose is, because I mean, it's got to be a
It's like
considerably
when
low
Gold Standard
dose.
Pre came out, and they had that stuff in there. What did they have in there? Black pepper extract.
Or Capsi Max, probably one of the
I think
two.
was it Capsimax?
I don't fucking know.
Might have been.
But the black pepper
Shit
doesn't
sucked.
taste like anything.
No, yeah.
I mean, I've had that on my tongue before, like
No, this
straight
is
up.
like this is the back of your tongue. That
yeah,
I can
it's
feel
spicy
it.
tingle.
I kind of feel it in my throat.
Yeah.
Well, and even like ginger does the same sort of thing. There's sensory effects of like those spicy-ish kind of things.
Yeah.
And there's
I'm sure
stimulatory.
there's really no way to get that out. That's just the characteristic of that.
Yes and no. Like there's some things you can do, but there's like not much, because
How much masking would you have to do?
I don't even know if you can really properly mask it. Like you can kind of mask it, but like there's still that interaction between that chemical specifically and the receptors in the tongue that are designed to
For that
detect
reason.
those things.
Right.
Yeah. And it's not a flavor thing. So it's kind of like outside the realm of flavoring
It's an
because
evolution thing.
yeah, well,
It's more of an experiential
because it's
thing.
like
Yeah,
telling you don't eat that shit. That plant's trying to fight you.
Yeah.
Like which is
yeah.
what those things
So
do.
you're saying like phytochemicals that would normally be in the plant?
That are really there to get you to not eat that plant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you can't go eating toxic plants and stuff. They'll have different chemicals that'll like warn you before they kill you.
I mean, you could, but yeah,
Yeah.
it's gonna let you know.
You're gonna have a bad time.
You're gonna have a bad time.
All right, so we want to get into the bullshit section.
Did you send them to me?
So we have a section called "That's Bullshit" where we pull up fun things from TikTok.
Okay.
Jesus Christ.
All right.
That that
Dude, I'd leave on TikTok. I'm
might make
like
you
chronically
cringe.
online, so
I mean, the Gary Brecka clip's definitely on there.
Oh, Jesus.
that one and the banana one.
I'm 50.
Banana
I'm 50,
with
50
glucose.
him.
Oh,
Now,
like
if you
that.
blend a banana, it's
starch is
like
40
40 times more caloric.
Okay, I could see that because the fiber becomes glucose.
And that's what they say, but does it, like, in terms of net calories that you consume, that can't be true.
Is there not a screen recorder on iPad?
What is the difference between a
There is.
blender and your
You
teeth?
might just have to add it.
That's what I'm saying, because no matter what, it's like the ground, like, what is the, there's a certain, like, chemical that chewing activates in your gut, right?
Well, and still, like you're talking about a mechanical force with the blender, and you're also talking about a mechanical force with your teeth.
Right.
And there's only so much of those starches can really be broken up. But he's like kind of right on that one because an intact starch makes poop. And
You need Wi-Fi? Are you good?
Understood. So now, I guess my caveat to that, which would be hard to measure, is like if you're going to eat a full banana, you're eating 100% of the banana. If
Yeah.
you're going to blend it up, probably leaving 20% of it in the blender.
maybe. Yeah.
Right. So, like, does it offset?
It might. It depends on like,
I don't know who's licking their blender.
yeah. And I'm not so sure how well those like mechanical.
You
forces
underestimate
break down
most of
molecules.
America.
you're
You underestimate most of
not.
America.
You're definitely not
Bunch
wrong.
of blender lickers.
All right,
blender.
first one up. I got face.
What-
It's screen recording, so we'll put this on the edit.
Is this all supplement related?
Usually.
Drag the puzzle to make sure that you're not a robot, please.
What the hell is this?
What the fuck? This is not thinking.
What is this? A crypto wallet?
All right. I mean,
Next, you gotta take a picture of your penis.
Oh God, dude.
It's the only way we'll know it's
Honestly,
you. It's
that-
the only way
that'd
we'll know it's you.
That'd be a great way to.
it's got this.
A captcha.
How do I
It'd be
start
like-
it?
It would be called cocksha.
Yeah.
Yes.
Start it from the beginning.
Wait, so are these all supplement like
Most of the time
related?
they are.
Okay.
This kind of make me have to. I don't know. I gotta take a dump now.
You gotta take a dump now.
It just like one sip.
It's over
One
for
sip,
you.
dude.
One sip.
Some things just they tickle you the right way.
It's been a blessing and a curse to turn off my Instagram notifications. Because then every time I open it, I just get blasted in the face.
Oh, I never.
No Diddy.
Oh, this looks
right.
fun.
All right, so we got this young blonde girl. Let's see what she says.
Yeah.
Getting taller and healthier with New Best Tall 10 Plus
Taller?
from New Best Nutrition. It's loaded with calcium, vitamins, minerals, and other nutrients that our body really needs to grow taller, stronger, and healthier. I take one capsule twice a day and I've seen significant improvement in a short time. I'm definitely taller, my sleep is awesome, and I even have more energy to go about my day. You can trust the quality of this product as it's manufactured here in the States and contains all natural ingredients. It's completely non-GMO, gluten-free, soy-free, and dairy-free. If you're an active teenager like me who wants to reach new heights, I highly recommend New Best Tall 10 Plus. It's effective and easy to take with no side effects at all. So what are you waiting for? Join me on this journey to healthy growth and development with New Best Tall 10 Plus. Shop today at newbest.com and save 15% on your order. Let's go.
Bro, that's like a slow waterboarding.
Okay.
Oh God.
So
How does it make you feel?
Oh, my insides hurt.
she broke like 30 different FTC laws just by reading those claims. Number one. Number
Don't tell her
two.
that. She's an influencer. She knows better.
Yeah, but number two, if it says dietary supplement on that, it can't be marketed to anyone under the age of 18.
Which
number three, what the
poss-
fuck?
She's possibly under 18.
She is under 18. She said teenager, unless she's like in the last 2 years of being a teenager.
Yeah.
She's probably 14.
And what the fuck is up with teenagers looking like that these days?
Stop.
That's
I
why
have a-
I don't
have a
like
5-month-old
TikTok.
daughter.
That's why I
Oh,
don't
it's
like
over for you.
TikTok.
Yeah.
I don't
She's
have any
marketing that
edible-
product to kids that are age 10 and older.
Yeah.
Do you want to be a big girl like me? Like,
First of all, she looks like she's like four.
See, and so this is why
I want to know who gave her a fucking phone.
this is why dietary supplements are going to end up getting banned on TikTok in general. It's because of shit like this, and it's because of like you see like these, but the caffeine pouches that are going out everywhere.
Zins?
Yeah, well, no, but they're caffeine.
I haven't seen those yet.
Yeah, so it's basically a Zyn, but with caffeine in it instead.
Instead of
And it's-
nicotine.
new delivery system.
But it
Just-
still
just
makes it
another
a
way to be a
dietary
crackhead.
supplement, which means everyone's doing it in they're adulterating labels by not putting it on there. They're having kids on there like you could take this under 18. That's breaking laws. Like TikTok's eventually just going to be like, stop.
Yeah.
Just stop, take it all off.
Rice is gonna make all that money first, though.
Yeah, 100%.
So
They're the number one
How
brand.
does that make me feel is exactly what you asked me. And,
Yeah.
And I couldn't wait for it to be over because it was actually like a slow waterboard.
I
I
definitely
swear to
feel
God, that's
dumber.
exactly what it felt like. Just the more she spoke, the more I was like, "Oh, make it end, please."
But it's all there's. I'm interested in like the other nutrients that weren't calcium.
I
and
just want her to
Yeah.
just be anywhere but on my screen looking at me.
Do you think that product works?
Do I want to know how that product works?
Do you think it does?
No, I think it's gonna fucking kill somebody, and then they're gonna.
Do we want to go and investigate it more? It's harder to do on the iPad than when Eduardo's just like searching.
I mean, if there's anything in there that increases calcium
What's it
in your
called?
bones, it
Nutol?
might stop you from getting shorter in the future.
That's a good point. It's a good point. Deficiencies.
what is it
Not sure it
called? What's
would
the product
actively make you taller though.
New something? Was it?
New best tall boy. I don't know.
New best tall 10 plus. Oh Jesus!
You already
what
found
are
it,
you
didn't
Googling
you?
over
It was
there?
so easy to Google.
Fucking crazy. Yeah, it was so
height-
easy to Google because they
height
sold
growth stuff.
7,000
To be
units.
honest
this
with you
month.
guys, I might have to take this. Now that I'm really looking at the marketing, it's making a lot of sense. 652 5-star reviews.
What are the active
Nobody ever
ingredients?
fakes those, right?
No,
What
never.
are the active ingredients?
I'm gonna tell you right now. Oh, there's a non-milk drinkers one. I'm gonna do that one.
Non-milk drinkers?
I think that's really where the target is. of
Yeah.
this. But I'm gonna get
Milk
to
drinkers.
I'm
No,
gonna.
non-milk drinkers. It's
Yeah.
I agree. Actually, I think it's a calcium supplement.
I mean, how many kids these days are turning out vegan?
It is calcium.
It's just
puberty.
fucking insane. because it's
Collagen.
like
Collagen hydrolysate. Yeah, calcium hydrolysate. Calcium. No, collagen hydrolysate. Jesus Christ, I butchered that. Calcium. A proprietary blend of
Oh.
precious herbs.
it's.
Oh, are they
proprietary
It says
blend.
precious.
I'm so interested.
Yeah.
Lactose-free formula on this one because I clicked on that one. It's reliable excellence is what they actually said. That they actually said just reliable excellence.
That's just bullshit they made up.
Money back guarantee. We gonna order this right now?
I'm
I
going
mean,
with you.
First 30 days. Hold on.
We already
They're
did this to
growing-
Ben Kane once.
We're giving them all this PR.
Did you?
There was another like growth.
Gummies.
Yeah.
First 30 days, the growing body absorbs the nutrients in the capsules. Dude,
When does it not?
was this
Yeah.
was this like used to generate like a
Chat
storybook
GPT?
for children?
Probably.
Is that what this was? Is this a failed storybook on Amazon that people tried to use with AI to make those?
This one's rough.
Or could have
Growing
just all
body
been written
absorbs
by
the nutrients
AI.
in the
could've been.
capsules.
Yeah.
It's crucial to take the capsules every day with the recommended dose. Take New Best Tall 30 minutes before meals or 1 hour after meals for optimal absorption. And there's a star. I'm just not going to go down there and read that. 2 to 6 months of taking it. Monitor your growth progress every month and continue to follow a healthy lifestyle. It's giving me an aneurysm.
So wait, it's really funny. It's kind of smart that they do this.
Monitor your growth.
Monitor your growth while your body's still naturally growing.
After you're done with that first bottle, because that first bottle's not going to quite do it for you.
Right. So basically, you're going
Us
to take
versus
60
them.
days.
There's
Like,
there's
you know, a
them, there's
10-year-old.
other people doing this.
My 5-month-old grows like an inch in 60 days.
Yeah.
So
Well, I mean, like the protein we made with Glaxon was based on baby formula.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lactofan.
Because like that was the whole idea, is because you grow so much during that point
Right.
in time that you want to mimic the things that you find in breast milk or in baby
that's the
formula.
Protos.
Well, yeah, and
Yeah.
like if you look at a baby formula, there is plenty of reason to look at that and be jealous and be like, why the fuck am I not getting this my way?
they should make baby.
So my
formulas and, like,
my daughter's actually, she has a cow's milk protein allergy. So we tried the hypoallergenic stuff and it didn't work as if there was any cow's milk protein at all. So she's on a pure amino formula now.
Yeah.
Called pure amino.
All right, so what else do we have?
Or
in this
Nutrimino.
thing?
It's got 5-HTP in it.
Nutrimino, pure amino.
the fuck?
Nutrimino.
It's got 5-HTP. That's the last ingredient. So in order,
So they can go roll their balls off at EDC and then feel kind of better.
At
It'll
10
bring
years
serotonin
old.
back. Yeah.
well, dude, I'm not even joking. Okay, let me read this down. I apologize to audio and video listeners. You can laugh at me because I'm trying to pronounce it and I look stupid. But calcium, collagen, hydrolysate, Poria mycelium powder, sea cucumber, and then it just says in quotation, it says in parentheses, it just says marine animal. That's awesome. That's fucking awesome.
That's great.
Eucomia bark extract, motherwort leaf powder, velvet
What?
deer antler,
Yeah. Well,
Oh my god.
polygonatum root powder,
how big is this prop blend?
Sichuan, not Szechuan,
Szechuan sauce.
I was
There's
gonna
one button.
Sichuan lavage rhizome powder,
Lavage.
ginkgo biloba, 5-HTP, and then the other ingredients, obviously a gelatin capsule. But the best part about this whole thing is the directions for children 5 and up.
Oh my god.
That is crazy. What the fuck?
And she
Where
said
did you find
she
this?
said it was made in America, but everything.
Eduardo
no
is
fucking way.
great at finding these.
Yeah.
Holy
Especially
shit.
that it's on TikTok Shop primarily.
How much is it? How much is it?
Safety information is great. Always consult with your doctor before starting it. So I don't know. Maybe ask your fucking parents.
Wait, what was the
Blanket state.
how big is the blend? Prop blend?
Like, what's the weight?
I always like seeing.
You want to know the red flags I noticed?
all the name?
All of them.
All right, eucomia is a
Picture?
testosterone booster.
Yeah.
So, like, whether it's male or female. The other thing is motherwort, which is an abortificant.
Is it?
Yes.
Good.
Nice.
Like, okay, you 5 to 10-year-old kids who are having sex, don't worry about having babies.
Just be fucking right.
it also probably has some long term effects.
Yeah, it's got to have some sort of hormonal
Yeah.
issue.
How many milligrams do you think that proprietary blend is?
500 tops.
383.
Lower.
Get the fuck out
Really?
of here.
Lower.
All right.
So the capsule's probably mostly full with like that.
Calcium.
Excipients.
How much calcium is in this thing?
150 milligrams.
Oh my God. This
Oh,
is
so
a
yeah.
complete fucking waste.
So
of
100,
much is
150. So that's up in the micro section, right? So
It's-
that means that whatever calcium is in there.
that
has
is
to be at-
10% of the recommended
and,
daily.
the,
That's- yeah.
and the proprietary blend is 275 milligrams.
That is.
How much are they selling it for?
$40.
Wow.
Is this the price is right? Like closest
$44.99.
without going over?
One-time purchase, or are we doing a subscribe and save?
Subscribe and save $39.99.
30.
Higher.
Wow.
Oh my God.
Oh, wait. Hold
Joey,
on.
how much
It's
is
not
that?
much higher, but it's higher. Not much.
$44.99.
44.
Yeah.
Yeah.
44.
I would be willing to bet
$44.
if this is the Antiques Roadshow, the appraised value of this product
At cost of goods.
at cost of goods, $1.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I would go less. Do you see the label?
Could you imagine kids running, like your kid
In the
running
wrong
to you?
business. We should.
Daddy,
You
I
should be
wanna-
cheating.
cheating our youth. All
I
right.
want to take the new best tall formula. Could you imagine? I'd be like, yo, get
Well,
out of my
dude,
room.
I mean, like before
Get out of my
I,
room and don't make eye contact with me for the next week.
before I started going on TikTok,
I'm in the bathroom. I'm taking a shit here.
I was surprised the
Jerk that
amount
cow
of people that honestly thought that like creatine was changing everyone's lives when they were like 18 years old.
Yeah.
Right.
And what was the other thing that was big?
Yeah,
I was
but y'all,
ta-
I
I was
mean,
taking
Ryse
hydroxychloroquine when I
really
was 18.
Oh,
capitalized on it
exploded
big
on
time.
that. Yeah. But there was
Well, it depends on how old you
was
were
it-
to
what's
find out
the,
what you were taking.
chlorophyll.
And ashwagandha had a
But,
little.
yeah, they still do.
Yeah.
What were you? Chlorophyll?
And right now,
Chlorophyll.
CMOS is
chlorophyll,
having CMOS is having a little thing.
Not chloroform.
Shit. Yeah, no, the plant chlorophyll. Yeah.
Let's go to the next
We
one.
got one more.
All right, let's do it.
Ever catch me selling greens powders. Even though I own a supplement company and even
Pause.
though I could be making hella money off of y'all.
Wow, that hooker was great.
All
Do
right.
you have a parrot?
Yes.
Okay.
I guarantee.
God damn it! She's not a hooker. I mean, she might be. I don't know.
A
if she does it
pirate.
part-time.
She's a different kind of hooker.
yeah, Captain Hooker.
Yeah. I guarantee by the end of this video, she's going to sell us a greens product.
Yeah, but she said she's not going.
But it's not a
Oh, right.
You don't believe that she's not going?
She's got to tear down the competition first. Let's keep
let's hear
going.
it. I think it's the parrot's
name. It
snack.
says fucky. Is that what that says?
Tucker,
It says fuck, doesn't it?
does it? Looks like a fuck. I can't see him.
It's a mirrored video, but I believe it says fuck on her ear. Okay.
Okay.
Where's the other ear?
Let's give her the benefit of the doubt, guys.
Looking at you, looking at Alani New, looking at AG1, and damn near anyone else. I'm Beefcake Rena. Here are my creds, and this is everything.
She say,
you
wait,
need to
can you please
fucking
pause
know
that for a
about
second? Did she just call herself Beefcake?
Beefcake Brina.
Now,
That is insane.
I kind of like her.
I kind of hold on, time out.
That swayed you?
I'm
Beefcake?
almost
because-
positive
she's
that
calling
I
green-
designed her supplement label like 8 years ago.
You did?
I can almost guarantee you I'll find it in my emails.
You
This
know
would be-
Beefcake
just
Brina?
search Beefcake Brina.
Let's get her on the show.
We got to get Beefcake.
Oh,
on here.
yo, ABB, always be branding. Just Nikki Rizzles, Beefcake Brina.
The question is, does she eat meat?
Bro,
FaceTime her right now.
I-
Holy shit.
I designed
No.
her shit.
I told you it's coming. She's going to sell us something.
Let's see if she changed the design.
Wow, and it's still in my email. This is hilarious. It's not gonna load. I have 4% battery left. This is fucking
I'm
hilarious.
gonna have to give you.
Dude, I designed her
Oh,
shit.
please tell me that looks the same as what she's about
Oh
to
my
show
God.
us.
Is
It
she-
says Beefcake Brina. Holy
Yeah!
I fucking knew it.
Oh,
this never happens.
Sorry.
It does here on the
And
island.
also, let's be.
How dare you?
I want to be clear.
How dare you?
Let me
Hold on.
see.
I want to
Let
be
me
clear. I did not design this from scratch. I took it over
Yeah, it's when
at a
you-
certain
you
point.
acquire.
And just,
Yeah,
this
yeah.
was not something that would ever go in my fucking portfolio.
How much you charter?
This isn't a bad formula.
Holy shit. I don't know what it was. We're making it a custom.
I know, but this is great. I would take this.
What is that? A pre-workout?
Yeah, it's pre-workout.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm assuming it's the same shit.
Well, she's probably gonna have a different product now.
Show me Beefcake Brina.
This is. I'm
Are
going
you
to
asking
get like
Siri
sued
or
for
what?
this.
Could you imagine she pulls her right up?
I can't wait to see her shit. Let me see that.
I
knew it.
Small
It's a
world.
name you don't forget. Like.
Powder, so you better buckle the fuck up, take some notes. Starting off with the science, greens powders
I charged her.
Okay, do you remember Beefcake?
Wow, looks like I charged them a total of like $2,000 over the course of.
Damn, I should have gotten that, Greg. To
Yeah,
design
man,
something.
excellent.
Do you want
Wow,
to
this was
me to
actually
plug your phone in?
This was in 2022. How the fuck?
Oh, so you definitely did.
I did this recent.
You want me to charge your phone?
Did you FaceTime Beefcake?
No, so I think if I remember the story correctly, I think it was like a store owner who had asked me to like help design his friend's supplement company.
Yeah.
And that
We get
friend
a lot of
was,
those.
was Beefcake Brina.
Oh, you have the old iPhone?
Yeah, I know. I'm poverty. Yep, that's it. That is actually, she didn't change it apparently.
Brina didn't pay you enough for the new iPhone.
Jesus.
Anyway,
Actually be categorized as a multivitamin. When looking at our body of research, the majority of the population does not benefit from these. Greens powders boosts your immune system. This is not true because although greens powders may support your immune system to a degree, most of the ingredients that do this are not clinically dosed to where they are efficacious. What about
I don't
Right.
disagree with her
What is
yet.
it?
No,
In
yeah,
this review specifically, it's very clear that there were many limitations to the studies that were presented, and there was typically what was called a washout period before the subjects started the study. So for the companies selling these, doesn't help the case much. Cures bloating, and that's false. Stop using a supplement to band-aid your deeper GI issues. Although in some greens probiotics are present to solve your gut issues, you need a specific probiotic strain. Greens powders rarely address that. Improve
He's not wrong.
digestion. This one falls right in line with the last bullshit claim. The only reason why you found some improvement in digestion is because you were drinking more fiber. Wow, look at that. Boosts energy. You may only find a benefit from this claim specifically if you are deficient in the specific vitamins. The big issue lies in the supplement industry being very loosely regulated. There's a lack of effective dosages, proprietary blends, which is a very sneaky way of underdosing a product and getting away with just having the ingredient in there, and then lack of third-party testing. They can get away with selling you greens powders for a premium and giving you bullshit marketing claims, but could possibly benefit a very small population, especially if you're neurodivergent. It may help you drink more water, and then it looks cool. At the end of the day, most of y'all are paying for expensive flavored water, so you're getting a minimal
what it
benefit
is now?
for a large cost. And a lot of these companies are getting away with a lot of these claims, making you think you know what you're getting, but really they're just making money off you. Take it if you fucking want to. Just remember that greens powders do not replace fruits and vegetables. I'm here to give you the right information, no bullshit, so you can make better informed decisions. Beefcake out.
I stand by. I like that.
I like it too.
Beefcake
Yeah.
Brina with the facts, and
listen.
she didn't sell us.
Listen, you know, before you cued that to press play, I was ready to hate it. And I don't hate it. She's not wrong about any of what she said.
no.
She's super angry though, and she's giving Mad Max vibes.
She also had the
Ravager
rainbow fuck
vibes.
on the ears is awesome.
It's
I
crazy.
love it. All right, well now I don't feel as bad for
I would totally have her on
Go
the
to
show.
Beefcake site. See if it's Greg's label.
it is. He pulled it up.
Did?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I'm trying to pull up
awesome.
her.
What a random cue up there. That was nice.
It's funny how small the world is. Like half of these sometimes are like clients through Rob Oliver's stuff, and we do a ton of his group.
Yeah.
Like
I've done a lot of like just random. I did
we'll find stuff. I'll be like, man, I hope I didn't do that.
what's the country music star that Raj just signed?
No idea.
He had a brand called Rise Up, and I talked Nick out of suing him. And then like 4 years later, he actually is now, he signs him. He signed him to the, to Rise, yeah.
Like Luke, was it not
Luke
What's his
Combs?
name?
Not
No.
Luke Combs?
Luke Bryan?
Not Luke
Shit.
Bryan.
I don't know. I'll
Not a
think of it.
Luke.
Who's the real Jelly Roll? We just did an energy drink with him.
He's
That's cool.
awesome.
I don't know if that'll ever happen, but we made it. I got to show you something really funny after this.
Okay.
Beefcake Brina. I just want to see if I can find her links or something, and so I can see this label that you made.
He had it.
That's like a
I know,
question
but I want to see
for
if
her
it's like
training.
if it's still like for sale, if it's on like a website.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
just
on
found
her
it, yeah.
website.
Okay. What's it called? Beefcake Brina.
Beefcakebrina.org.
Org.
Beefcakebrina.beef. She's the only .beef ever.
Got beef.
What are you gonna do? Oh, it's called Vanguard Supplements. Does that sound familiar?
Does.
Yeah, right?
We love beef.
Cake.
What's the one with the wings?
Excuse me?
I'm not
It's
sure.
got another label. It's got wings on it.
Oh,
Yeah.
I don't remember doing
Somewhere
wings.
else.
Sometimes there's things we're not proud of that we did.
be like that.
Oh, there's a lot of things
Yeah.
I'm not proud of.
Things you did for money, huh?
I've went and shot some videos that were
You ever get in that boudoir stuff?
fuck no.
You
Absolutely
don't do
not.
much photography,
Uh,
right? Do you?
sort of.
So are you more of like a videographer for all these brands?
Yeah, I do.
Oh.
I do more of just like the video side of things. Yeah.
Okay.
Video, the edit, the shooting, the editing. But I do the photos. The photos kind of just came to me. In part of doing the video because it's like an easier
You
version
have
of
the
video.
equipment.
Yeah.
Yeah, I already have everything. So
You can grab stills.
yeah, stills. I find it's the opposite. When photographers get into video, it becomes challenging for them to like think in
Yeah.
terms of moving frames versus just like one at a time.
We're gonna review hers.
Yeah, might as well.
Earlier I thought this was actually pretty good. 8 grams citrulline, 3,500 beta alanine. No one's gonna give her the credit for the 300 milligrams extra. 600 of GPC, fucking coconut water. I mean, there's some bullshit. You don't even have your potassium listed, Brina. What the fuck?
Sorry. No, actually, it was definitely given to me that way.
That's
It's a
on her.
beefcake move.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love the Mucuna. Yeah,
Two Koreans.
Potato?
yeah,
What?
Mucuna. It's has an amino acid in it
phrase.
called L-dopa, which is a precursor to dopamine. It's pretty rad.
Buzzword. Dopamine.
Sodium bicarbonate, so it fizzes. Okay, you got
So it
200,
fizzes.
Yeah. Well,
we got
true.
roughly 300 milligrams of caffeine from the anhydrous and the malate. We got 200 theanine, estrogen, and some huperzine. I don't like the huperzine, but
Why don't you like the huperzine?
I believe it shuts off the mind-muscle connection whenever you're working out, and I don't think that's a good thing.
That's
I
not
think
a
it's
good
great for a nootropic. I think it's great for dreaming. I would not put it around my workout.
Yeah.
But no, this is great. There's nothing wrong with this.
Tag beefcake. Let her know.
Let's go.
Yeah. Fucking hit us up. Tag her in the fucking video.
So not
Dude, it's-
bullshit. Not bullshit.
No, not bullshit.
No,
Not bullshit.
Brina's not bullshit.
Get you out of your little rain
Change your name to No Bullshit Brina.
No bullshit, Brina.
Yeah. Stop being
She
so
has
angry.
a parrot. She's got fuck earrings.
Well, I want to know what the other one said.
I thought they both said fuck.
You never know.
Subliminal.
Subliminal messaging.
But
So
no,
that's-
that was really great.
Yeah, I'm pleasantly surprised, especially since she was a client of mine. Apparently,
Yeah.
It's awesome.
It's weird how that shit happens, huh?
how the fuck did I forget that?
You didn't.
You just got it. You actually remembered it.
Yeah.
You put two and two together. You're like,
When
"Oh,
she said the name, I was like, "Fuck!"
wait a minute. I remember having a phone call with this person.
Did
She's so
she
angry.
yell at you on the phone?
I didn't even speak to her directly. I did it through I guess I did it through Vanguard or whoever.
Yeah.
I don't even know who gave me that.
Are we doing one more? Oh. Eduardo wants us to ask you about your story, Nick, since we kind of grazed over it.
Oh, God. I'll give you the abbreviated version.
Well, it all started
I'll give
on
you
the
the
ranch.
abbreviated version.
It all started
We got
with
more
your
about
hand.
your dog than we got about you.
You did, but I'm his sidekick, so it's
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
I mean, basically, my story is I grew up a super heavy kid. I was like 270 in high school, pre-diabetic, and
Oh, damn.
I just decided that after there were two instances. One was the doctor telling me that if you got any heavier, you take an insulin pump because I was in 10th grade and 270.
Ooh, yeah.
And then the
Were you
other
playing sports?
That'll scare you straight.
yeah, I played baseball, but I was a catcher, so like I was
yeah,
good, but I
yeah.
was just a big body behind the base. And then I guess the funnier wake up epiphany I had was I was coming home from my aunt's house one night, and my mom, you know when you hit the shoulder and like the so my mom kind of just like veered off a little bit off on the shoulder, not like where she was veering and off the side of the road, but she just veered off a little bit, and the noise hit, but my right tit was just jiggling, and I went, it's time to drop some weight.
The jiggle tit did it.
Can't be having that go on.
The
So-
jiggle tit did it.
so the abbreviated version, because it is a long one, is from the summer of 10th grade to the fall of 11th grade. I dropped from 270 down to 190.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I ran the track. I basically did a keto diet without even realizing it was keto back then. This
You just
is
low carb in it?
2011,
Yeah.
2010. And I wound up just doing like ham and cheese roll-ups from the deli, and I cut carbs out. I was playing a lot of handball. I was walking the track a lot, and I dropped all that weight. Let's fast forward a year. I was best shape of my life, super lean, everything like that. And I met a girl. So
Boy,
3.5
Got comfortable.
got comfortable.
3.5
Cause and effect.
3.5 years of dating her, went back up to 240-ish, and just wasn't training the same way. You know, I was, in the mindset of I just joined the gym. I'm like bulking now, and I'm beefy. And nah, bro, you're fat. Like, get over it. Like,
Yeah.
you have to understand that you're just fat.
Yeah.
So we break up. 1 month being away from each other at
You got
college.
fat and she dumped you?
Yeah. Man, it sucks.
Better off.
Yeah,
Women.
it's okay. Well, because she plunged me into my villain arc era.
That's when you got real serious at the
So
gym.
I said to myself, you know what? It's time. I had just gone away to college. I was at Quinnipiac in Connecticut. And I said, it's time to kind of just take things extremely seriously. And I wound up bodybuilding. So I dropped from 240 to 150 in a year. And I stepped on stage in men's physique. And I did a total of 2 shows, kind of just yo-yoing, horrible post-contest rebound that I wasn't told by my coach that would happen.
Yeah.
And just kind of finding my place in the fitness industry, I guess at that point. I was at Bev's on Long Island, which is a very well-known East
The
Coast
Mecca. Yeah.
I was friends with, Arash Rabar. I was friends with Kevin English, who was a 212 Olympian, all these guys around me. So I started to look to them for not only friendship, but just guidance in the gym. And they taught me a lot of things. I became very friendly with John Meadows, who, rest in peace. That was my man. I used to love John. I used to text him all the time. I fell in love with his training. It helped me immensely as a natural athlete. And basically just kind of segueing into like how I got into the content creation side of things. I wanted to create a YouTube channel similar to a podcast like we do here. And I wanted to sit down with other professionals throughout the industry, athletes, because in my mind, I'm sitting down with these pros every day. People wait hours to just shake a hand and take the picture and like, all right, have a good one. And it's like, you guys have worked the expos.
Yeah.
Hours of just a handshake.
Strenuous. Yeah.
And not that the athlete is pretending to care about this person, but they have to, you know what I'm saying? Like they have to like show some love.
Everyone has a limited social battery.
It's like 6 hours of just shaking.
I've been impressed by a lot of the social batteries I've seen by guys like Jay Cutler, who will stay there.
Joe, who I will
Jocko?
say, you can speak to Kai for sure.
I can speak to Kai.
Kai's one of them. More recently, though, Seth Rose
Yeah.
will speak to
Seth is
everyone.
That dude is a ball of energy.
He is, but it's not even that. Like,
But he's got a fucking heart too, though.
Yeah.
on a personal level. Like,
he's the
we ran an event. I met him at the Vitamin Shop Summit when I was with Ryse, and that's when me and him first met, and we just shot the shit and like kicked it. And then more recently, we went to the Nutrition Factory event down in Tennessee, and like we were obviously hanging out there a little bit, and just watching him speak, like he was the last one there.
Yeah.
For sure. I definitely left before him. Like he just, until the line's gone, he
got a ton of
will
energy.
talk to anyone.
I'm
That's
very
awesome.
close to Juji. That's Juji.
Juji, yeah. Juji's probably, they seem
Juji,
like the,
dude, he will go until he is just blue in the face from saying hi.
It's
doing
awesome.
Flips and hanging out with people. So I asked my dad for a camera for Christmas. I said, I want to try to do like vlogs. I was watching a lot of Casey Neistat at the time, and I just thought it was maybe something that I wanted to get into. And he bought me a camera for Christmas. I started doing some videos just like myself of just like different things, just trying things out and experimenting with how I would edit. My ex-girlfriend now, but my girlfriend at the time had said, do you want to make a video of me at the gym working out and maybe, you know, it helps you practice your editing? And I said, sure, of course. Did a video for her. Then Arash asked me. Then I shot a video for, I don't know if you guys know Sean Harris. He wasn't like a big name pro, but he was a big guy around here.
Yeah.
He was going into the Tampa Pro. This is right when I started shooting videos. He went into the Tampa Pro like he was supposed to go like 3 days later. Shot a video for him, shot photos of him. That night he actually died.
I heard about that.
Yeah.
Car accident.
Yeah.
So it was like this big crazy thing, and it's actually his anniversary of passing tomorrow.
Oh, wow.
wow.
Yeah, it happened in 2017, so it's been a long time. But so I wound up having to turn a friendly, fun pump up
Into a
video
memorial
going to Tampa
video.
into a memorial video, and
Yeah.
I grabbed a 6-pack with a couple of friends, and we were drinking, and I was editing in my room, and I finished it around 2-3 a.m. and I put it out the next morning, and it just took off. And it was I wasn't trying to get views. I was mostly just to memorize an amazing human being that was like
You
my
just
gym
did the
dad.
best job.
You know what? I look back at it now. Obviously, we talk about art. I look back at it now. There's so many things I would have done differently. However, in the moment of what it was perfect.
Yeah.
It really was. Perfection doesn't exist in a lot of things, but that was perfect for what it was and the message it delivered. I mean, I went to the funeral and everyone just parted. His mom, like everybody came over to me. Everyone just, even people that didn't know me knew me now. And it was a very crazy, surreal moment. But moving on from that, Flex Lewis was in town. So I shot with Flex. He had flown me down to the Dragon's Lair when he was in Boca still. And Dallas had just passed. So it was like a weird kind of crazy thing. And
I forgot he had one in Boca.
yeah, and then he flew me out
the
to the
one.
Olympia. So I was with Flex when he won his Olympia out there. And it was cool. And a couple of years later, about a year or so later, Kai's people called and I wound up doing a lot of stuff with Kai. We became very close. And that kind of just extrapolated and it kind of did a lot of things. And although I've been doing this since 2017, with COVID and the gap years that we have, it doesn't feel like I've been doing it that long because we were shut down for so long and we weren't allowed to do videos in person. And it really felt like that. Not only did it just throw a wrench in everybody's plans, obviously as business owners, but it made us take a lot of steps back. So you almost feel like you weren't in business around then because everything was just on pause and you're just trying to figure out what's going on. So now here I am today. I've worked with, amazing companies like Muscular Development. I've worked with amazing athletes. I was with Rain and Monster Energy for a long time. I've done shoots with Action Bronson, like
Oh, nice.
yeah, Juji. I mean,
Fuck, that's delicious.
man.
Yeah.
So I've been able to
That's
do.
awesome.
I've been amazing. The way I got with Action was I've been a fan for years, and Muscular Development called me and they're like, "Do you want to shoot him because he has a crazy weight loss thing?" They're like, "Do you know this guy Action Bronson?" I go,
Fuck yeah.
yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, I do." They're like, "Do you want to shoot his magazine?" Yeah, I do. So I went out to Jersey and him and I just kicked it off and he's like, "Do you want to come back to the studio and shoot some more stuff for me?" And I said, "Fuck yeah." So
I'll hijack
Choke you out?
what?
Same here.
He was doing dab rigs though when he was like
my
right
God, dude.
after and before his workout.
Jeez,
and he's working out
Joe
to,
Rogan. He smoked like 16 blunts.
Yeah.
Or something.
yeah,
It's
and,
insane.
And he's working out to Andre Bocelli.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro.
Interesting.
It was interesting. I got that footage on that hard drive over there.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
Awesome.
But it was cool, man. I've been very blessed. I've been very fortunate to be able to do this in the times of highs and the times of lows. As you guys know, it is a mountain type game sometimes, and you have to just remember that you get to really just shape your own career and do cool shit. And I'm nowhere near the best in this industry or in the world, and I'm nowhere near the worst. So I understand my placing in it, and I'm just fortunate for every opportunity that comes my way.
Are there any bodybuilders that you haven't gotten to work with that you want to?
No,
No?
honestly, no.
You've got to work with some good ones.
I know. I mean, listen, Andre Ferguson, Sergio Oliva Jr., who else? I got to
Giant
shoot
killer.
Ulysses and Mike O'Hearn with Kai out in Dubai.
God damn.
Yeah, I've gotten with like all the ones that.
I remember when you went to Dubai.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that was a hell trip. But I've gotten,
Yeah.
and it's no offense to like Kai or anything like that. Just the schedule, just keeping up
You
with
guys
everything.
were taking trains and shit, right?
Yeah,
Oh, no, that was Germany.
Yeah, that was
You
Germany.
went to Germany, yeah, for FIBO.
Germany, a shot for
yeah.
Gold's Gym Corporate.
Yeah.
I've been very fortunate, and I'm in a very big transitional period of my career at this point.
Well, now.
I'm not, you know what? I'm not working with Rain anymore for now. I mean, they always said that things could change, but unfortunately, the powers that be in the upper corporate realm, they just decided to do more things internally. So, which is cool. I mean, it is what it is. You can't get sour. I appreciate the opportunity that they gave me because they were my largest client for a long time, besides obviously individual businesses and athletes. But we take these experiences, the things that we like, the things that we didn't like, and we kind of push forward to figure out what we want to do going forward. And I'm still figuring that out.
Yeah.
I want to do more of what the Buttery Bros have done.
Yeah.
Truthfully.
Yeah.
I love Marston.
They've made like documentary style.
Dude, I love
like,
Marston.
videos, yeah.
I love Heber. They're
Yeah.
fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Jules, I know Jules does all their graphics in the background. He's an unbelievable editor.
Well, they're with Podium.
yeah, they own Podium.
which
With
he
them and
designed.
Fraser, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. The real back end guy of that is this guy's name Paul Haverland.
Paul Haverland.
Okay.
He's,
I think they mentioned him. I did a podcast with them. We had to do an abbreviated one because
who's also one of the founders of Ghost.
Okay.
And was one of the main movers at Wood Bolton's Silly
Okay.
Car. Yeah.
Right. And
Paul's an
that's
OG.
where all, and RTCL and all the
Yeah,
Asian
yeah.
manufacturing.
Right,
Yep.
right,
Like
right.
that's a
That is a
fun
guy
little
I've been
tree of-
trying to get onto the podcast for a while. And he's
have
just,
fun with that.
well, he's like, yeah, I'll do it. But at the same time, he's kind of like,
Yeah.
I don't
I'm sure he
wanna
doesn't
give
want to
all my
talk about
He
anything
doesn't
either.
care. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I love those guys too.
Yeah,
Doesn't
they're
live
awesome.
too
They're
far.
fucking amazing. So I want to truthfully move into that, and all signs have been pointing to moving to that. The issue, however, is you don't have the means to pay the bills yet because you're in that infancy stage. So I've been focusing more on the podcast. I've been focusing more on doing not necessarily documentary type stuff, but I've been focusing on shooting my own content, the things that I want to do, not just, horn myself out for a 15-second reel for any company now.
Yeah.
And it's tough to say no sometimes, and it's tough to bite the bullet when you have to, but we all do, and sometimes you have to pay the bills, and the rent is due on the first, and things.
It's true.
Yeah, like things
It's
happen.
real complicated when you start paying people and they have.
Which is why I haven't
And
done
then you feel responsible for someone else's,
and I haven't had that overhead yet. There have been a lot of people that have
Yeah.
asked me to come on and work with me and this and that, and I just don't feel like I'm at that point yet. I need to know that things are going to be on a very big trajectory up, which it's not to say that they aren't, but they're slowly ticking up. I'm not at that point yet. And I'm okay with it because everyone's got their own journey and path, and it takes time.
It's also, like you said before, like it's very hard to know when it's right to take that big.
Eventually you just have to
scaling.
leap.
Yeah, or you do, or you get forced into it. Like Ryse was forced into it.
Like my overhead, it's expensive for what it is because I like expensive gear, and I've for real. Like
You've got some good gear.
the funniest thing to me was like when I bought these Cook lenses. These Cook lenses came out.
Well, those are true cinema lenses.
I'm a nerd out real quick.
Yeah, yeah.
The Pancro Classics, which were $15,000 a lens. Cook came out with these, which are meant for more mirrorless style cameras, but they took the glass from those and housed them in here, and they've been marketing to guys like us, run and gun type stuff, but want that cinema type look. All manual lenses, high quality,
Like the branding
housings.
too.
Yeah, dude, the Cook look. Like these are Cook lenses have been used on a lot of movies that you've seen, you've watched. So I said, you know what, fuck it.
Cool.
I want to invest in these. I want to get them. So I bought the 50 and I bought the 24. Had the slowest 3 months of my fucking career. $9,000 on lenses that I just did not have to spend.
Yeah.
All right, Kenji, I hope you like cat food for a little while because the raw food ain't cutting it right now.
That's the funny thing about gear is you always want more.
Yeah, but actually, truth be told, like I've been good now.
Yeah, we've been pretty good.
I'm good. I don't need to buy anything else.
I've been good too. I bought my Mac Studio 2
what's the
years ago.
runtime
and
on
that was
those?
it.
By the way,
That's
how much
pretty
more?
I
good.
love that thing.
Yeah, love mine.
Oh, you changed the memory card?
Yeah.
Oh, really? No, I mean, how much memory is left on it? Oh, 19 minutes. Okay, that's why. That's what I was
We can go ahead and wrap. We can plug our things and go get something to eat or whatever you want to do. But
yeah, cool with that. We could do another podcast. I know you said you wanted to go down to Texas. I'll be down there.
Fuck yeah.
I kind of want to pitch you something else, but we'll do it off air
Okay.
because we got some other things going on that you might be interested.
Well, I was just gonna say that's something we didn't talk about on here. Is you work with Nutrimedia, you work with a lot of clients as like almost an extension of their business, and I know that you shop out some work to people a lot.
Yeah, we do.
Right, so like that would be cool too for you guys.
Yeah, but we've been talking about doing like
Big stuff.
documentary style stuff for the industry,
that would be real,
and we actually have the resources to do it.
yeah,
Cool.
and the
you
contacts,
you have the contacts.
yeah,
I'm all ears, man.
Yeah.
and you have the talent.
Yeah.
So
Thank
not
you, I
only
appreciate
the equipment.
It's hard. You beat yourself up. You look
Yeah,
around.
but that's
stuff
an artist.
that,
Like I do a lot
Sorry,
of
Fred.
telling other artists that they're good because a lot of them think that they suck.
And networks are everything, man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
it's
have to
true.
promote like the own. That's the one thing about the creator network, at least from the artist standpoint, is you have to you have to promote them and make sure that they all, even if they're your competition.
Well, who I just worked with Lizzie on a project, which is really cool, and I've never gotten to work with her before. Which, by the way,
Several shout outs to Lizzie on this podcast.
thought she was a guy for the first 4 years of speaking to her through DMs and
she
whatever.
does that intentionally.
Yeah, because her name is Richie Design, so I was
Yeah.
like, I
Yeah.
had no
Hey,
idea.
Richie.
Well, she calls me all the time. The one thing that we've been trying to do is just find like a price that we all.
I told her to go on your podcast.
We need to. Well, I've asked her many times.
Yeah, she wants to be.
We need to create like
in
a
the dungeon.
standard for pricing so that people stop shopping everyone around for the lowest price. And if
Yeah.
we all have the same price, then it's like go to the artist that you think.
I like
has-
that.
I gotta do the same.
Let's
thing with
use your
videographers,
price.
man.
I know.
Motherfuckers.
That's the problem is these CEOs.
Let's use your pricing as the model, so I can raise mine when I decide to freelance
that's
again.
exactly what I was like. This is what no one else. Don't ask for anything less than this. And that way, if somebody shops to you, then like everyone is gonna get the same quality based off of the art, the people they want to work with, whoever works the best.
You mean I shouldn't be doing everything for $100?
Fuck no.
That's what I bought.
We'll do it for $100,
I
right?
bought these $4,500 lenses, but I'll charge $100. Fuck it. Makes sense.
Yeah, I can go.
I know. Well, that'll be the next podcast. That'll be the next episode.
Yeah. You want to hear me spill?
Put it
Yeah,
on your home turf on that one.
Yeah. But yeah, let's go ahead and plug what you got.
What's your socials? All
Socials,
that.
just Nikki _ Rizzles on Instagram, Nikki Rizzles on TikTok. Got 53K on there or 52K
On TikTok?
Yeah, but I stopped
follow
posting.
anyone.
I'm in TikTok jail now. I get the 300 views now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was popping off and then I stopped posting for 6 months. I needed a mental hiatus, so
I get it.
yeah, it's
Makes
okay.
sense.
But the YouTube channel is Nikki Rizzles as well, and that's where I host Rizzology, which is my podcast, and I got a lot of amazing human beings that get to come on there and chop it up, hang out, similar to this. Greg's been on multiple times, and it's just good times, good vibes.
Greg, where we can find you?
The Suppwolf on everything.
Yeah.
Much, yeah.
Are you still doing freelance at all, or is it?
I've considered getting back into it as I start to like automate more of Fresh, but for the last at least 6 months, just with like bigger projects and stuff like that, I haven't had the time. And now I'm a brand new father, which means I have less time.
Congrats, yeah.
What about the fresh subs?
Oh, at my Fresh Subs on everything, and then freshsubs.com.
Is there any like discount codes or anything you want to put out there?
Ooh.
I'll make one
Rizzology.
called Suppworks
There you go.
Oh.
All right.
in the next 10 minutes or before this is live.
Go use your code Suppworks to discount, free shipping. When
Yeah, we'll do discount. We'll do 20%.
there you go.
Fuck yeah.
I've tried your Miami one and your lemonade, both great.
Cool.
Great products.
So you got to try. You a watermelon fan?
Yeah.
Juicy melons. It's like dude, Juicy Melons, Sour Patch Kid watermelon. It's so goddamn good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my favorite. My new favorite. Peach is good too if you like peach.
I haven't tried the peach one. All right. Well, let's go cool off because it's hot as fuck.
All right.
Yeah, I'm sweating.
See you next time on the Suppworks podcast.
Peace.
Thanks, guys.